that. Okay.
For giving the money to whatever the other rapper's name, baby mother. Future's baby mother. I don't know these rappers, man. And the other one is what, you guys?
Future, man. Future.
No, I'm talking about the other FUU planet.
The guy that Biden, and then the guy that beat up the senior
citizen.
That's a no-brainer right there.
And,
look, baby,
we had already made the decision before.
Never mind. We saw your face. We got it.
Wait. Are you talking about the cop that pulled the old lady out of the truck?
No, not that one. I saw that one too.
I didn't see that other one.
But this was a guy beat. He punched the elderly guy in the face about 30 times.
Oh, he's a problem.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey.
That's my vote.
And recorded it.
And recorded it.
That's a big problem. I didn't mind the white lady getting tased.
The old lady?
I didn't mind that.
She said she wasn't getting
What'd she do?
She said she wasn't getting out, and she wasn't paying no $80 ticket.
Yeah, she wouldn't take the ticket from the
officer. Yeah, I remember that. I saw that.
Yeah, she wouldn't take the ticket. Then she started mouthing off to him. Then she took off. She took off in her truck. He had to chase her in the truck. And then pulled his weapon out. She wouldn't get out of the car. She was like, okay, just give me the ticket. He was like, no, we're past that now. Get out the car. She still wouldn't get out the car.
He chased the fuck out
he
of her.
He tried to get her out.
Well,
the ground, and she was trying to fight him from the ground. And so he tased her. Why should she be any different?
He gets shot.
Wow. And for y'all
he ain't answering, so.
All right, but let's go.
Yeah, let's go then.
Go.
Are you gonna put it over to me, Anthony? What's the deal? You got it.
I feel like we're the Brady.
Have it now, Fred.
Y'all made the squares.
That's why I should have gave it to Craig like 10 minutes prior.
And who pays the bills spoke.
It's quiet.
I say we live now.
Hey, are we?
We live.
Live and recording.
Yeah, we
live,
live,
baby. We live, baby.
Man, I always forget how we do the watch party thing with this.
Here come Glenn. We live.
Man, you gotta turn your volume down too.
This part of the show is sponsored by Gentleman Jack, the unofficial sponsor of some Wildcats.
Oh shit.
Unofficial, huh?
It's about to get slow about 8:15. He's gonna get slow about 8:15.
Nah, this is my first class.
How you just popping on here talking about we got a sponsor?
I'm saying I said
you late.
What's up, fam? How y'all boy doing?
All right, hey, man, how I send this shit back to you, Ant?
Here we go. Here we go.
Somebody help him out, please.
Teddy Riley. Craig Riley.
FIUU candidate.
Every week.
Craig Riley.
Craig, go to my name and go to more. And then say, make me the host.
I'm going to the chat, right? I'll go to more first.
Go to participants.
Oh, just to his name. Come on, huh?
Oh, participants. All right, there we go. That's where it's at. I got you.
Make sure you don't.
All right.
Don't miss your orientation. For,
he got it in there.
Hey, look at this.
He got it now.
You see this right here?
You see that right there?
Yeah, you need right there, pen and piece of paper.
All right, so y'all ready? All right. We are back at it. You know what it is. It's that podcast that's so damn good. Only some wildcats can do it. Coming to you live from the Zoom verse. I am Craig Black and in the building. You know, I got my family up in here. I got my man G, who is mission in action right now. My man Glenn, a.k.a. he spells his name with 2 N's. He's not in this chair, but he's right here with us. What up, Glenn? Okay, all right. Also in the building, I got my man Keith, a.k.a. Cat Daddy Keith, a.k.a. Keith the Freak. What's up, Keith?
What's up, Black?
Also in the building, you know, I got my dude Al, a.k.a. the brother minister. And peoples, I need y'all to understand this. He is not racist. Y'all give it one time for my dude Al. What's up, Al?
We live, baby. We live.
Also in the building, I got my dude Dave, a.k.a. Old Blue, a.k.a. the voice of reason. What's up, Dave?
It's an honor and a pleasure, Black.
Man, we just glad to have you back again, Dave. It's just amazing. You're here again with us. Also in the building, I got my man Ant, a.k.a. the agent asshole, a.k.a. the old man. What's up, Ant? Okay. All time is kicking in right there. All right. In the building, last but not least, we got my dude, Dirk, a.k.a. the money, a.k.a. the wallet, a.k.a. he pays all the bills, but we ain't got none. What's up, Dirk?
Good evening, everyone.
Wow, what? and he got a skull cap on in the house.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Glenn, I said what's up to you, Glenn. Don't be mad. Don't look like that. I said what's up to you, but you weren't sitting down, man.
It's all good.
You first, okay?
You came me first, but you see I wasn't on.
Hey, I didn't realize you wasn't there till I was in the middle of saying your name. My bad, dude.
It's all love. It's all love. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
All right, so let's break it down for the people. This podcast is about us and our friendship over the last 35, 40, 45, 50 plus years. And it's about the topics we want to cover because we don't give a goddamn about what you think. It's all about what we think, all right? So I got to introduce our special guest in the building with us right now. I got to give it up for, first we got to do the ladies. I got to say what's up to Miss Shelly. What's up, Shelly?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
All
Hey,
right.
Shelly.
All right. Also, we got Miss Heather hanging out with us. What up, Heather?
Hey guys.
Hello, Heather. How you doing?
Hey, Heather.
Yeah, I got on, Craig.
Yeah, you did your thing for me, Shelly. Also, last but not least, my dude Mud. What's up, Adrian? What's going on, man?
Wow, government. What's up, fellas? What's up, ladies?
What's up, Mud?
Cover it up. Nas out there.
All right. So, you know what? Today's show, we're going to get it popping about the topic that's all over social media, all over every news outlet. It's everywhere. Joe Biden talking to your man, Charlamagne the God. And at the end of his interview, Brother Joe jumped out there and he said, if you have an issue with deciding to vote for me or Donald Trump, that means that you are not black.
You ain't black.
You ain't black. Let's put it like he said. He used the ain't word too.
You ain't black.
You
That's
ain't
it
black.
first.
So
Somebody told him to say that as soon as before the interview. It just popped in his head. I don't even know.
Now that was the Alzheimer's that really kicked in. The Alzheimer's kicked in on him that time.
Hey,
I'm not gonna lie. The whole time when he was vice president, Obama was always scared he's gonna say something like that. He's always like, every time he talks, he's like, what's he gonna say? Oh, okay.
Okay, let's put it out there. So, who has had a real issue with what he said? I mean, I'm gonna put it out there. I thought what he said was real and to the point. We speak about it behind closed doors. We'll say it to each other, but I guess with the Caucasian saying it and the vice president saying it, is it an issue? You go ahead and speak your piece. I'm gonna let somebody go first.
I mean,
go
I wouldn't have an issue with it as long as you're hearing my points of view and what I have, what I personally want to, see, in a candidate. I don't really. I mean, that's not really here said there, but I don't have a big issue with that. Maybe we are overanalyzing that what he said, but deep down in his heart, that's the way he feels. I mean, hey, way it came across, we know Biden says things that's out of left field. That's just him. But as long as you hear my points of view and what I want to bring to the table for as an African American, I'm more inclined for that.
Well, yeah, to piggyback off what Dirk said, to me, I thought it was a little bit condescending and at first, when I first heard it was kind of like offensive because it's like more like, oh, I already got that, I already know. Like, how do you tell somebody they're not black if you don't vote for something or you don't pick something? It doesn't make sense. In my eyes, it's like we all black. I mean, we're black people, always fighting for certain things. And just for someone to just tell you you ain't black because you ain't doing this the right way, that's just like telling somebody just because you talk proper or you don't slang, you don't talk slang, you're not black. That's, to me, was.
I just think I think he invited to the cookout, but he don't get all of the rights and privileges of being invited to the cookout. And I'm going to give, Adrian, that's almost like Adrian, for those who don't know, is an alpha. I could never speak on behalf of the alphas because I'm not an alpha. I could be cool with every alpha here on the face of the earth, but I'm not an alpha. So at the end of the day, I can't say if you are or if you aren't an alpha and stuff. So it's just, I just think he was out of line with it. I think he just need to stay in the basement, chill for a little bit, don't say much. I just think he was out of pocket.
That was my point. That was my point. I didn't think he had the right to say who if he was black enough. But at the same time, I think if he just be quiet, like you said, Trump is gonna fuck it up for everybody. Just let him run his course and finish it out the way he messing it up right now.
I agree with you.
It's on Wildcats Podcast, and we talk about Joe Biden and his comments he made about voting for him, and if you don't, to the black community, that means you're not black. Basically, that's basically what he said. I'm gonna go to some of our guests that we have here today. I'm gonna go to my man Mud. What's up, Mud?
What's happening? I think he was way out of pocket for saying it, and I don't think he had the place or the space to say it. And I know some people say, well, we say it, and I'm not even comfortable with us saying it. This country, looking at this country, and how this country and what this country was founded on, and how comfortable the norm is or the standard for, that white people, that whiteness has been set as the norm. Color's the deviation. Any people of color, is like a deviation of that. I think that we've been bullied or used too much by the Democratic Party. And I don't think that we've held them accountable like we should be holding them accountable. Case in like one point when Barack got elected, President Obama, and everybody was with him. But midterm elections came out, and what happened? As Democrats, boom, we bombed. And I thought we was with them. And in terms of, I know some people are trying to hit a lot of points because I don't know what it's going.
Mud, we bombed.
Yeah, I thought it was only one question,
because
we had to answer like 7 questions. Some of them we ain't even asked.
What'd you say?
I said we bombed because we didn't vote as well as Democrats.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But I'm saying if we supported him, then we should have been right out there voting, because them votes at the midterms, to me, in my opinion, was for him.
Amen on that one.
You mind if I slide in there?
I'm gonna bring up. I got my man Rez. He joined the conversation. What's up, Rez? Go ahead and speak your piece.
Hey, what's good, Craig? Thank you for the invite. Specifically as to what Joe Biden said, it's crazy because one thing I've told people since the Donald Trump presidency started, because when he said I'm gonna run, I was telling my friends like, yo, he's about to win. I don't support, like I said before, but because of just the way the world was going, I had a very good feeling he was going to win, and as we see, he did. And just not even to dive in what we was talking about earlier, But him being that open, the Donald Trump presidency should have opened so many people's eyes to the openness of what the president could be with no experience and just being completely himself, because that is the biggest thing I guess people hate about Trump. He's real to what he believes, but the way he says it is what the things he says is the thing that people like Biden have beat around the bush and just, made laws to say those things as opposed to say them straight up. And like I was saying earlier, I'd rather have a bigot in my face. Honestly, I'd rather you call me the N-word every time you give me my paycheck and pay me 100% so I know where we stand, than you pay me 60%, but call me the N-word with your friends in the back office. And the biggest problem with what Joe Biden said is the comfortability to say it. I guess because Obama was the second black president, like he just feels a little bit comfortable. I know not a lot of people know about John Hanson, the first black president, just wasn't of America. He was of the Continental Congress in Philadelphia. It's crazy that Joe Biden felt comfortable enough to say that, and it's up to us now to really check him and to dive into what I guess Mud said earlier. It's always up to us to vote, but at the end of the day, like I was telling Craig Black earlier, multiple elections, we have gone out and shown what we wanted. The majority, 51% of people, have voted for what they wanted and they haven't got it due to the Electoral College. But then that's another question we have to answer.
All right. It's a Wildcats podcast. We're hanging out right now, and we're talking about Joe Biden and his comments. I'm going to let some other people speak as well. Go right ahead, Heather. Go ahead and say your piece one time, Heather.
I mean, I agree. He was absolutely out of pocket. I don't agree with how he put it. Do I feel that it was his gut feeling? I don't know, because I'm not the man. I read a quote on CNN that I absolutely agreed with by this reporter who said, he felt it was a very clumsy statement, and I agree with that. And it's price to pay for that, But I think that we are taking all of the attention. It's easy for me to say that as a person of non-color, but I think that the attention is being diverted to what one statement that he said versus all of the statements that Trump has said and got away with. And now the nation and these people are coming out of pocket and saying whatever they want without getting punched in the face or, paying for what they've said with what their beliefs might be or things of that nature. And I think that that's the unfortunate situation about what he said. I think he was trying to make a point and it was just the wrong way to go about it.
Hey, Black, let me take it. Go ahead. So I really think that his point, he should have finished the conversation. What he did says, you ain't black. He shouldn't have stopped there. His point, if you look at everything that's going on in his environment right now, with stuff going on in Georgia, stuff with these rallies, things that's going on, his point is that there's been a very racial stigmatism to all his rallies and all of his base. So that's what he meant by you ain't black if you really vote for Trump, because his base is very racial motivated. But he didn't say that, and that's the problem. And again, but with Biden, his whole history is the point that he's kind of been a kind of person to put his foot in his mouth, and that's what's been his biggest weakness as far as being a leading candidate. And that's how so. I don't excuse what he said. Again, he has to pay for it. He's gonna have to justify. Even going back to we had a conversation about Puffy, and it was that you can't just say, hey, you have the black vote because of the fact that he's to the left, Trump is so bad that we're just gonna vote for you. No, you still have an obligation. And going back to the point what Mud was talking earlier was that even with Barack being president. Let's be real. He didn't have the power he needed to make the changes. Why he do this? Why he do that? He had to capitulate and give a lot away to get anything that he got approved. So the things that he did make monumental changes, but he had to capitulate a lot of things because of the fact that we didn't have control of the House, we didn't have control of the Senate. If we would have had that, we would have voted, we would have had those things in power while he was president, we could have made monumental changes, but you couldn't if you don't have the power.
Amen.
Being president is not the power. Being president is not the power. President is being the overrider, be able to put. He don't. The president don't make laws. The president only approves the laws. So you have to have the House or the Senate to be able to even put that law into place to be able to vote on it, for him to sign on it. So that's been our problem from the beginning: is understanding understanding the political process.
Democratic process.
So that's been beginning to end, and I think really. That opened a lot of people's eyes, but some people still say, "Oh, he didn't do this for us. He didn't do that for us." Well, how can he do it? Because if he puts this, that makes no sense to sign a law that's not going to get approved.
So to touch, like you said, Glenn, to touch on the law part of it with Biden. Who are you? Like we're putting a lot of emphasis. We're putting a lot on the statement that he made. Right? The statement he made is really actually not that important, honestly. It's more, who are you? Are you the guy back in the 90s who put all these laws into place like Glenn was talking about? Not as a president, but you put all these laws on the books that hurt a lot of, I'm just going to say minorities, with the crime bills. Mm-hmm. Who are you? Are you that guy? You talking, because the guy who made that misstep, I'm not worried about the misstep. Trump makes missteps all the time. Trump sounds like a buffoon all the time, but his base doesn't give a shit because they on board with his policies. So back to Biden, who are you? Are you that guy that put these crime bills back in place, or are you just trying to, you want us to vote for you? Despite that, you want us to vote for you because you have been vice president with President Barack for the last 8 years, or back the past 8 years. Like, who are you?
All right, it's on Wildcats Podcast, still hanging out in the Zoom verse. I'm gonna go to Shelly real quick and let her speak her piece. Go right ahead. We're talking about Joe Biden. What's up, Shelly?
Hey, I feel like he was just a clumsy old man trying to be cool. Bottom line, he was just trying to be hip, trying to be cool because he was on a black show. He made a mistake. We are diverting from the real issue, which is, do you want Trump or Biden? Look at what they stand for and stop trying to pick apart little things about he said this wrong, he said that wrong. Let's look at what his record says and what he's standing for now, what he's trying to put in place now, and focus on that and stop distracting from the bigger picture. We're all focusing on this little comment that he made. Okay, it was clumsy, it was messy. He's an old man trying to be hip. That's how I feel.
Reminds me of somebody that's on this podcast too, Shelly. But we'll move on from that. So Wildcats Podcast, and I was talking about Ant. If y'all didn't want to know. So my thing is, I think the bottom line is what you said, Shelly. That's the bottom line. No matter what Biden says, he's going to say some messed up stuff. He's an old man. He forgets. His Alzheimer's may kick in and out. We don't know what the hell he's on sometimes. But if you look at what he's going up against, come on. I think the bottom line is we got to get this quote unquote racist. This man is trying to divide the country. This man that just comes up with the most stupidest comments at every press conference. I mean, this man.
And not that that's not important, but also what does Biden himself stand for? We have to look at that.
Exactly.
But I'll be honest with you, Shelly. Right now, what we got to choose from, I don't give a damn if Biden stands for a crock of shit. I mean, we got to get Trump. What do we have? Hey,
what
Rez,
are our choices? Like I said,
go right ahead, Rez. I want you to make your statement right. This is why I want you to make your statement, because me and you went back and forth about it. Go ahead and make the statement when you about to go, because I know you're about to go there real quick. Yes. What do we have to choose from? Go right ahead.
But I'm just saying your only two choices as an American citizen, if you choose to vote, is Trump, a known bigot, somebody we know paid off people in the past and has sealed indictments, who dealt in pedophilic things in the past, who was on Jeffrey Epstein's books and is documented being in Orgy Island and other places. You have to choose between that and somebody who's real with you. Like I said, he calls you the N-word, but he pays you 100%. Of course, there's always policies we may not know about. Biden.
So, Rez, I'm uncertain right now. Are you pro-Trump? Because I've been listening to your conversation and your dialogue, and I can't tell, are you pro-Trump or anti-Trump? I'm just trying to get an idea where you stand.
It's hard to explain. I did not.
It's either one side or the other. It's not hard. It's either you Trump or you're not Trump. When you get to vote, you can't vote and say, "Well, I got to try to explain my vote." No, it's either you vote this.
No. But you, if
you got a mega hat or you don't.
If
you gotta let him answer the question.
Give me a few seconds.
Okay.
That's why I didn't vote, because I was telling Craig earlier, which is a bigger conversation.
So you don't vote.
Let me explain.
Let him go. Let him go now. Let him go. Let him go right here.
He said let him go.
That's what I want.
When you vote, just as you know, we all wait to see that 273 number come up. That's what you vote for. That is the Electoral College. The Electoral College is built up of executive heads, business heads from all over the country. They are unnamed. You don't know their names, and they won't tell you their names. But they are the people you vote for. You don't vote for a president. Once you get 273 electoral votes, those Electoral College members go in and choose who they want as president. They have every right to pick and choose whether or not they want the Democratic or the Republican nominee based on what they want, based on the policies that the Electoral College can get put. The president is a figurehead, just like in Europe, with the Queen being a figurehead. They like to give us, I know people died and fought for the right to vote because they thought it would mean something. But we know, and multiple elections have showed us, that our vote means nothing. If we really are in a democratic system, the 51% of total people who vote should get what they want, right? Not 273 people, which is an odd number, going into a room selecting who they want. But that's dealing on a bigger issue of talking about the system, which people never want to deal in. That's why our vote does not matter. On the local and state government, yes, it matters a lot more. But as far as voting for a president, it does not matter. Regardless of who you vote for them.
Thanks for the history lesson. So essentially what you're saying is you're not going to vote. I'm just trying to get
I will never.
You're very elegant in what you're saying, and thank you for the history lesson. But you're basically saying you're not going to vote. Is that what you're saying?
No, I will not. No, I will not.
Okay, that's all I need to hear.
I mean,
right there.
It's hard to listen to everything else that you're saying behind that if you're not voting on it, at all together.
No, but that's why I fully explained it to you.
I don't need you to explain it to me. You already told me you're not voting. So your view right now doesn't affect one way or the other once you say you're not voting.
I explained to you why I don't vote.
But hold on. I have a question for you, Rez. I have a question for you, Rez. As you're correct about how you say the process is, but what percentage do you know the percentage? I mean, I don't know the exact, but I know a roundabout of those who have control of Electoral College vote against their district's actual property vote. It's only like maybe 5%. So your point saying not voting, it makes you're right. I don't disagree with you, but and a person can vote against what the popular vote is, but it is so minute. It's only like 100 people.
Not. Let's look at the last 5 elections. Look at the last 5 elections. Obama, I believe, I don't. It's hard to be specific. I believe Obama lost the popular vote, but won the electoral.
That's not true.
No, that's not true.
That's true.
That's not true.
Well,
that's not true. I apologize. Well, in this last election, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. She lost the electoral. That's why we're dealing with what we're deeling with now.
But hold on.
Bush and Al Gore presidency.
But that's not because. But that wasn't because of electoral. It's not because of the electoral vote.
That was
it wasn't because of no. It was because of the fact that we have certain areas that have minimum popular votes but have more electoral representation. So it wasn't because of the fact that even with those people, it still was only like 1-2% that voted against the popular vote of their area that they're supposed to represent. You're right. Again, I don't want to say you're wrong.
Right?
Yeah,
they still got the electoral, right?
It was only 1-2%. But the reason why Trump won because of the fact that there was areas that the popular vote, like California, Maryland, in certain areas, the popular it was like 80%. But there were some areas where they had more electoral votes, but had very few people in those areas that represent that area.
Yeah. That's
the problem. That's the problem with the electoral vote. But your argument is saying that the person who was electoral candidate who votes based on the people in his region he has to vote. It's very few people who vote against the popular vote of his region.
I'm sorry. But I'm saying the simple fact that the Electoral College can pick and choose. What I'm saying is you got to look it up, because even Craig Black said he didn't believe it, and I understand a lot of people don't. The Electoral College has the ability to say, like in this election between Joe Biden and Trump, they can say to hell with both of them and pick whoever they want. The simple fact that they have that option, that power to do that, means that what you want as an American citizen, because black men fought in the war, in civil war for this country, it doesn't matter. Even though you said it's a very rare.
But again, my argument though.
Hold tight. One second. Everybody, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. All right, it's some Wildcats podcast.
Hey, Rez, I'm like you, man. We're gonna talk offline.
It's some Wildcats podcast.
I would love for y'all to help me understand, because I've had this mindset for a while.
This is why I invited Rez in, because what he said to me earlier, the not voting thing, really kind of it touches a nerve with me when you say you don't vote. I'm gonna be.
I know it does.
That touches a serious nerve with me. But
it does.
Before you reset, Craig, make your point, but let a few other people respond.
I'm not done yet.
I thought you were gonna reset after you. Go ahead.
Wow. So right now I'm gonna go to my man Mud and let my man Mud get his point across. Go ahead, Mud.
Okay, Rez, I got a question before I get my point across. When you say you're not voting, period, or for the presidency?
I do not vote for the president, and I have never done enough research to properly educate myself on the people under him. Okay. Literally, and I've only been able to vote twice.
That's a no. So this is yes and no. So it's
my
no.
thing is, and I'll say it now for Anthony come for me. Fuck Trump. I don't like Trump. I'm against Trump.
Hey, I feel you.
So my thing is, shit rolled down here. But where we get, I'm not saying it don't matter, but where we get touched most is from the bottom up. And I think so many times we put too much emphasis on the presidency and not looking at your county executive, your governors. And I think
local representatives.
Also
110% correct.
Also, Brooks is doing a great job. Hogan been kind of, I don't know, because he been saying a lot. He been strong with Trump, but I think Craig said it on the post you put up about people getting upset about the wrong things. I'm not upset about what Biden says in the sense like it's going, I think Heather might said it early, it's going to distract me. It's the comfortableness of those white people to feel free to speak that way. And if you attack them speaking that way, that's their fragility showing. Nobody can say the shit they say. See, what got me about it was people were saying, oh, well, he just said this and that, da-da-da-da. But see, when somebody has their opinion, because that's Biden's opinion, right? When somebody has their opinion about race in terms of, well, you should only date black women. Don't date out your race. What's wrong with dating a black woman? People you get attacked for that. And black people say that. But a white man said this, and everybody's running to his defense. And see, black women been saying stuff like that, and you beating them down. But a white man says something like, oh, let them slide. How you think that make black women feel?
Hey, but Adrian, I'm gonna jump in here real quick, Adrian, I'm gonna jump in here real quick. I think what you're saying is correct in a certain way, but the bottom line is Trump or Biden. And this is a distraction. That's basically that's 100% what it is. I don't give a fuck what Biden says right now. I really can't, because we got this idiot Trump over here, and we got to get him out of office. And we making too much of a big deal. Heather was right in a sense. It's a fucking distraction. Why are we putting all this energy into this? We agree.
That's what the media is made to do. That's the purpose.
I made one post about it and I let it go.
And can I
like
just
it ain't?
I'm gonna let Heather speak. Go right ahead, Heather.
I'm sorry. I just want to like make sure that I'm clear. Like, as a person, as a white person, I have black sons. For those who don't know here. So, you know, I see both sides of the coin. I'm not black, so I don't, you know, I can't say, oh, I feel the struggle, but I watch what my children go through, right? And I watch what
the one that said it was a distraction, not Heather.
Right.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Oh, okay.
But nonetheless, it's still, you know, it's
y'all look alike. I'm sorry.
We are the same person.
So we pretty much are. Everybody says we're sisters, but nonetheless. So, but my point is like and I pulled the article up from CNN that I referred to earlier. And like, I agree with this person so much because what he was saying was like, what Biden said is not okay. It's not okay on any level. I don't agree with what he said. He was trying, what I feel he was trying, the point he was trying to make, I agree with this person where he was saying his point was that if you were voting for Trump in 2020, after all you've seen and heard and you're a black person, that certainly calls into question your black political identity. You have to look at it from that stance. When you have a person in office, whether it's the president, whether it's your governor, who has said the most racist things about so many different ethnicities, it's not just the black, you know, person, it's the Mexicans. It's so across the board. It's just racist. If you're not of this color,
even the females. I mean, he said it with the females.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Not just your race. I mean, he said it.
My father is one of the biggest Trump supporters out here. Like Nichelle knows, and I don't speak like we battle, because my father will say to me, "You're such a liberal. You're damn right, and you raised me that way. I will always speak up for myself. I will always speak right from wrong because if I don't, who will?" It's just the bottom line. So I'm not a white person that says, oh, you know what? He just misspoke. No, what he said was not okay. And he needs to be corrected for it. But let's not take away from the bigger picture here. We have a racist asshole in office. And the person who's right behind him is worse. The vice president is 10 times worse than Trump.
Yes, he is.
And as a country, we should be scared shitless.
Yes.
So, you know, like, I just wanted to make that point, that by no means do I approve of, like, oh, it was okay. You know, he just misspoke. No, he needs to be corrected. Like, if somebody speaks out of pocket, no, they need to understand that that wasn't okay to say. You shouldn't say it that way.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of what Red said and what Heather said. And basically, like, we know Biden spoke out of pocket. Okay, we can overlook that, like we already know what Trump stands for. And what we need to do is to focus more on like the policies first and foremost. Then after that, we need to start focusing on your Senate seat, because your president is pretty much nothing but a CEO of the United States. So basically, your people who make the laws are your Senate and your House of Representatives. Only thing he does is just signs it. So, like, I was following him until he said he doesn't vote. But at certain points, you have to vote. You have to vote on your superintendent of your school, to your judges in your neighborhood, to your judges in the courthouses, and those natures. Yes. So basically, all I'm saying is it goes deeper than the vice president. It goes to McConnell of Kentucky. What we need to be focused on is getting him out, because for 8 years he fought Obama tooth and nail, and that's pretty much it. Sorry guys, but
I appreciate that.
Al, I got Al. Hold on
1 second. Give me one second. It's some Wildcats podcast. Still hanging out. We're still talking about Joe Biden and the comments he made with Charlamagne the God a couple of days ago. We're still talking about the subject. We're going to take 2 more statements or questions from this. Then we're going to move on. Go right ahead, Glenn. Your mic is muted, Glenn.
My mic is muted.
Yeah. All right, go right ahead.
Hey, so Al, like I was saying, I'm piggybacking on Al because he has some distortion. I'm 100% with you, Al, and you know, Al has some political views sometimes, but he's right on the money. Again, I agree with you too, Heather. That's why my point I was making at the very beginning when I made my first statement. But I want to say one thing, that Biden made a misstep. He has tried to capitulate, try to understand, try to kind of say, pull back what he's saying to get his view, let him know that he's not really saying that you ain't black. My point, though, is that the other side of the fence, they wouldn't give a damn. They would say it, and that'd be it. You care? I don't give a fuck. He made that argument, keep going. So that's my point, is that we want somebody at least to hear. So Biden said it. He got some backlash. He hears the backlash. He's trying to correct or try to do something. And again, I don't agree. He missed up. He's older, and I'm not making excuses for him. But he is definitely hearing our backlash on it. Trump would not hear that.
I don't want people to get. I put it like this for me, and I'll speak for myself. But I don't want people to conceptualize what I'm saying in that because he said this, I'm not going to vote for him. We have no choice. Unfortunately, we're in a situation right now where we can't scrutinize Biden's policies, his beliefs, and his ideas right now. The more media go, this has to happen within the next 6 months, is to get Trump out of office. And so I think he misspoke, he misstepped, he effed up, whatever he is, but I don't want anybody to get confused on. I think the vast majority of people are still going to have to vote for Biden, despite that, because we got to get Trump out of there.
Yeah, so
for those who don't vote, I'll just say this: a non-vote is as good as a vote for Trump.
I agree.
So you might, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, you might as well go in and wear a MAGA hat. Go ahead, Black.
I got you.
Go ahead, Black.
Hold on. It's a Wildcats podcast. One more comment, real quick. I promise this guy he can say one more thing, and then we're done with this topic, y'all. Go right ahead, Mud, real quick. Your mic is mute. Your mic is muted.
I'm muted. Great.
What I was gonna say, what I was trying to say, I wasn't trying to make a big deal out of what he said. I agree. Like, we ain't got no choice. My thing, what I was getting ready to get to, is that we need to be we need to investigate everything everybody say, and investigate to, like what Rez was saying. He said he's not that up on the state and local offices. We need to educate ourselves and get ourselves into reading and doing more of that to find out what our state and local officials are saying, and look at them just as hard as we looking at the president, because some shit been said on the local level that's been fucked up too. Excuse me. Some stuff been on the local level been said bad too, but you don't hear it because it's on the local level and nobody blasts that with not enough people. So be hard on Biden if you're gonna be hard, but be hard on everybody.
All right, I appreciate that much. All right, so it's a Wildcats podcast, and you know what? We gotta change subject. We gotta switch gears, y'all. We spend a lot of time on Joe Biden, and at the bottom line is, man, you just gotta vote. I appreciate your stance, Rez. I understand what you're saying, but you gotta vote, man. All right, so let's keep it moving. We're gonna go to another subject.
I'm with y'all on that. I definitely need to vote for things outside of just the president. Like, I fully believe in that. It's just, specifically the presidency. Like, it's too much that has been shown. Everything else you're right, I need to get up on, but regardless of who you vote for them. All the last thing I wanted to say was when Obama became president, every president except for one was related by blood. Look into that. Like, this is systematic, man.
I appreciate it, Rez. I appreciate it. We got to keep it moving. Rez. I appreciate it, my dude. All right, we're going to move on to another subject. We got to go to some entertainment, something a little bit lighter. We got to talk about your boy, Russell Wilson, man. We got to talk about him. He's another dude that's been on top of the news right behind Joe Biden, because he went out there and he paid Future's baby mamas, all of them, gave every baby mama $10,000, I believe, in the form of a scholarship in form of a scholarship to so Sierra's husband gave Sierra's baby daddy's baby mamas a $10,000 scholarship for all the kids. Now, I don't know. I think Russell Wilson is a good guy. I don't see him being malicious with it, but I'm gonna let you know this. A lot of the Future fans saying Russell is being petty than a motherfucker. Now, I don't know if Future is a deadbeat dad or not. I can't say that about Future. I don't know. But I gotta get y'all opinion on what y'all think about Russell Wilson jumping out there giving Future's baby mamas money to help them out. So
and just to add some more context to it, he has 7 kids by 6 different women.
I thought it was 10.
I thought it was more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was more than that.
I'm reading it right now.
Round number.
7.
I think it's a round number.
He's the fact checker.
It's a lot.
Either way, 7 to 10.
Yeah.
Woo, that man don't know how to put on the sock or the pickle.
Yeah. So it's a couple of issues with that. It's a couple of issues with that, Black. I mean, you got the one issue. I know you didn't bring this up, but you got the one issue with him, like Al said, not putting the sock on. But then you got, I saw the quote earlier today when we put the post out. You got the women who are having unprotected sex. And the ironic part is they have no future with Future. Like, it's like you're having a baby with somebody thinking you done hit the lottery, and now you having a baby with a deadbeat or alleged deadbeat. Right. So, but my stance on Russell Wilson is, I think, like Derek said earlier, if I had it, everybody on this panel would get it. I would do it for, I would even do it for, a stepson's step siblings. I would do it, but I wouldn't make it known. And like, he's actually making comments saying like, these are the brothers of my stepson, or these are the siblings of my stepson, so I want to look out for them. I get that, but you ain't got to make that comment. Do this shit privately. If it gets back to you, just make no comment, because you know that it's going to get out there and it's going to make a lot of noise.
But Blue, on that though, if you know the history between those two, they've been going back and forth for almost the whole relationship, the marriage between Russell.
That's my point, Al.
And I think at a certain point, at this point in the game, Russ, because he at first, I think if I'm not mistaken, he made a comment about Russ ain't making enough money. This is like 3 or 4 years ago. So this is Russ coming back around the barn and saying, hey, I got enough money to pay for your kids.
I get that, Al. I get that. Hold on, Glenn. I get that, but you, I get him coming back at him, but the flip side is people are saying, oh, it's a good deed. Well, how's it a good deed if he's just being petty?
Hey, he wrote a check, right?
Regardless of him being petty, he take care of the youngest. He look out for the youngest.
It's a good deed for the kids. The kids getting a scholarship. That's where we all going back to Biden, where we want to see smoke and mirrors.
Right.
It's about smoke and mirrors. It's about what is being accomplished. The kids are getting a $10,000 scholarship. Forget everything else. Forget if it's petty. Forget if he's trying to get at them. So what?
Yeah.
The kids are benefiting from it. Bottom line.
Long as the check clears.
You saying that you had a comment, you had a problem with Russell Wilson saying that these are my kids' stepbrothers or whatever. That's just to clear it up as that's what it is. Now, had he been throwing it in Future face, he'd be like, I'm doing this because I'm not sure if they can actually be taken care of by their dad or something like that. Then I can look at it that way.
Nah, he don't got to make that statement. If he's just saying he's doing it because it's his stepkid's brother or sister, then that's what it is. Hey Keith, that's the slick
It's
way.
A player move though.
That's the player move. That's the classy move.
Let's go to some of the ladies in the podcast. Shelly, what you think about Russell Wilson giving this money?
Ask Shelly if she knows who Future is.
Oh, gonna give you the finger, okay?
Oh.
And I do know who Future is in the news story.
Name one song.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't know that. But I wonder if Sierra, is that her name? Sierra?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she has relationships with the baby's mothers.
Right.
Because if that's the case, I mean, it could be something that's just different. They have a network of people that share siblings together, and he's helping out that network, right? Like, could be an option. I don't know. he could just be petty. I don't know. But, I mean, that might be the case.
I would not be surprised if they didn't have a baby mama group chat going on.
But Shelley,
I can see that.
But Shelley is correct. Shelley
children like that are friends. You know, they kind of been through the same thing, but
and she is correct because Future had it was like a dinner or something that he wanted all the baby mamas and all the kids to get together to get familiar with each other. That's a true statement on why they have that relationship there. That's very possible.
Well, let me ask you that, and again, not to take this even that much further, but let's say hypothetically that the baby mama got more than one kid.
I think it's per kid, what I saw.
You said, no, but let's say, for example, baby mama A has Future's baby, and then she got another baby. Does that other baby get 10,000 or just that one baby?
Just the one baby, probably.
Just that one baby.
It's the ones by Future. That's what making it playable.
Exactly.
That's the ones that
that's what making it playable.
That's real. That's real.
Hey, it's a Wildcats podcast. We talk about Russell Wilson giving bitch slapping Future right now, paying off his baby mamas and giving them money. Hey Heather, what you think straight up? What you think about the situation?
I honestly don't know where I stand on it, because my thing is, I think it was a very generous thing to do. And like Nichelle said, like if the moms all have like a network together, if they are friendly with one another and they know that he might not be the best financial provider, or I hate to use the word deadbeat, but you know, just not a father figure that they expected and not taking care of the child the way a child should be taken care of. I'm not saying thousands and thousands of dollars a month, but you know, the basic child care that a child needs. If he's not doing the minimum like he should be, and they have that network, I see no problem with it. The issue I kind of have is who put this news story out there? Did Future put it out there? Did one of the baby mamas put it out there? Why? Why does it need some marketing? Why do we know Sierra's pregnant. She's on social media all the time. We know what Russell Wilson can do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
damn.
They stay relevant. There wasn't another reason to remain relevant, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, and everybody has their own. So
you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. And it's plausible that this is a Sierra move and not a Russell Wilson move.
Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah, and that's
what I was going to go back to. I can't see him saying, "Yeah, man, reach out to Tanya and see how her little boy doing."
She might have paid for the $10,000, and he just agreed. Fine.
He
wrote
the check. Sierra move.
Every relationship that she's had has been out there publicly like that. Whether it was good or bad, it's been out there in the public.
Whether it was a Sierra move or a Future move, whoever it was, it like I was saying earlier, like Heather said, it shouldn't have been public. Right. Why did it have to go public? When they went to him and asked about it, he should have had no comment.
Because they're celebrities. Everything goes public when you're a celebrity.
Exactly. Like I said, he wrote the check, so he wanted the text right off. But let's be real. Let's go back to what Heather was saying earlier too, though. I personally don't have any kids out of wedlock, but I know a lot of people who do, and I do say every single one of them that I had conversations with, the baby mamas get together and they do have a group meet, and it's always like one baby mama is like, no, I ain't entertaining that shit. But it does happen. I mean, us Wildcats, I know y'all do this for a long time, and y'all don't have no kids, a lot of kids out of wedlock. But I do know they do have that group chat. Heather was talking about, or Heather or Shelly was talking about earlier. That does happen.
Who was your point of reference right now?
That's what I said. I'm not going to say that.
I heard that too, Craig.
But
it happens
more
than once.
Hey, if I was one of the baby mamas, I want to stay in contact with Sierra myself.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? He's a celebrity. None of the other ones are.
Man. All right, this is a Wildcats podcast. We talking about Russell Wilson and Future and Sierra. I don't know. Anybody else got another comment about it? I'm gonna let the subject go.
As long as the kids taking care of.
Go right ahead, Go right ahead, Mutt.
What Anthony was saying about, was it just, the baby, did he give money to the other kids, the other baby's mama's kids, or the other kids from the baby's mama? Like, to me, if you're gonna do it, hit all of them, because if you're saying they all brothers, then they connected too with that baby, them other kids too.
That's not a true fact.
Why not, Dirk?
That's not a true fact.
Why not,
Dirk?
It's the same mother.
A lot of times people don't claim what's not theirs, what's not part of their
It's the same mother.
He shouldn't be claiming these other stepkids then.
Yeah, it's the same mother though.
This not even his son.
I don't think he's claiming them. It's essentially.
If Sierra's saying he's not worrying about those other kids, I guarantee you that.
So we back.
Okay, true.
So we
true.
back to
That's
Sierra's
Sierra
paying.
paid. Yeah. But if Russell paid, then if he doing it out of that, then he should be giving it to
Russell ain't to do that. Russell just put his head and say, okay.
I don't know.
The more
I got you.
The more we talk,
if Russell said yes, Russell was a part of it.
Oh man!
Come on, man. The more we talk, the more we talk about this. The more we talk about the situation, it sounds like Sierra. It just sounds like Sierra.
Quiet as kept. Future should be going and giving Russell a solid, because one, Russell Wilson is keeping Future relevant, and two, he done gave him some material for a new song.
Yeah. Oh wow. All right. So we putting the blame on Sierra. That's what it sounds like right here.
No blame. My blame 100% on Russell.
I'm going with Sierra.
Russell's views might be a little shaded right now. It sounds like
if he the man of his house, then blame do go on Russell.
I'm with
you. How many times you been married? How many for the married dudes? How many times your wife done rolled over? Hey, baby, I was thinking about taking some money and doing such and such. You're like, all right, whatever, do what you do.
Okay.
Anthony Cowan.
Yeah.
You know goddamn well if this was you and Tracy came to you and said, hey, we need to put some money on the book. But he said, hold on, Dirk. Let him answer.
Say it's $10, $10, not $10,000.
Right. I wasn't gonna say 10. Hey, Dirk, you beat me to it. I wasn't gonna say 10K. As cheap as he is, you know damn well. You be like, they made my motherfucking kids. They made my kids.
Anthony signed a $1 million contract. Anthony signed a $1 million.
Money that dude make a year.
But Anthony, you think she would agree to that?
Exactly.
I mean, he would agree to that? You think if your wife, when I was married, if she rolled over and said something to me like that, I'm gonna think like, so you think she rolled over and said that to me? He was like, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he get the blame.
You just signed $100.
But then, yeah, exactly. That still puts the blame on him.
For some women, that's the best time to ask those awkward questions right afterwards.
But that still put the blame on him.
Well,
it goes back to what I was saying. That goes back to what I was saying, though. That goes back to what I was saying. That is
Windows.
Yeah, I'm by the windows. Let's go back to what I was saying. That I was saying Sierra probably is pretty much it was having beefs for like 5 or 6 years before all this went down. And the Future was giving them problems, was giving that whole relationship problems. That's what I was saying.
All right. It's a Wildcats podcast. We're hanging out in the Zoomverse, and we about to let this subject go. Sierra, Russell Wilson, and Future. We got to let it go, y'all. We got to go. Yeah, Bottom line is, we think Sierra gathered up all the baby mamas, took a good 100,000 out of the bank account and spread the love to all the ladies. That's what she did, just to get on Future goddamn nerves. Like, hey, she did what she did. Smacked them right in the mouth, all right? So we're going to switch gears real quick, and we're going to go to, actually, the NFL real quick, all right? The Rooney Rule has been revised, all right? So NFL, big news. So I got this subject from my man Keith the Freak and Al, so I'm going to let you go ahead, Keith, man. Tell them about the rule. How does it what's the new rule, man?
And it hasn't been revised. This was just what was proposed. Where if they were hiring these minority general managers, they were offering these outrageous incentives that is not based off of the competency of how these dudes do their job, but just off the fact that they're black, and giving them additional draft picks and some other things that just wouldn't have been competitive and not based off of how well they do their job or how competent they are in their job, but just based off the fact that they're black.
Hold up.
So, go ahead.
I got you, Keith. When you look at it that way, yes, you're right. But that's not the 10 of the rule. The 10 of the rules is showing that those organizations that go out their way to make those promote with them, bring them up, and then that coach then leaves the organization. That organization that gave that coach the opportunity, that they should be able to give something as well as a draft pick, third round, not first, second round, third round draft pick.
Up to what I saw was up to a total of 16 draft picks over however many amount of years, just because they have someone of minority, a black or minority general manager there. I don't think that's making it. I don't think that's the way that you go about evening up the playing field or giving these folks an opportunity. Now, once they get there and you give them an opportunity to show that they can do the job, that's one thing. But not just because they're there that they get these additional draft picks. I don't think that's the way to go about it.
But the future current rule, okay, I interview 2 people, I'm good, I satisfy, good. No, this is saying that if you bring people, grassroots, bring them up, and they become established in the business, and they go somewhere else, you can still get some type of reward or benefit from bringing those guys up. No, that's the first time I heard 16. It ain't 16.
Are you Keith?
That's the first time I heard that 16.
As many.
It's 1 or 2.
Yeah, because I thought
it wasn't 1 or 2. Because if it was 1 or 2, it wouldn't have been a big deal to me. Yeah, it was up to as many as 16, depending on how many folks you had in there.
Well,
I keep
rounders.
It's third round 2. The highest round is third rounder.
Yeah, 2 third rounders. So
that's
are you saying that you can get as many as 16 total picks?
Yeah, based off of being a minority GM. That was
real quick. Craig, can you ask Shelly and Heather what they talking about on there?
I was about to add.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I was like, laughing like I don't know what.
I'm like, maybe they know about this Rooney.
They don't have a damn comment at all on this.
They talking football. We don't give a fuck. Like, we don't know what the fuck they talk. Who is Rooney? Mickey? Is that Mickey Rooney? Is that Mickey Rooney? Who the hell is that Rooney guy? It's on Wildcats Podcast. We're talking about the new proposed Rooney Rule. And the bottom line I'm trying to ask to y'all, fellas, is this going to help out and get some more black head coaches? That's the bottom line of all this.
That's the whole purpose of it. We're talking about it. They have these organizations. They have these billionaires thinking about it. Hey, fine. Put some incentives in there to make them start thinking to give an African American an opportunity.
Well, my point is just realistic incentives. What's your take, Al?
But Keith,
realistic or not, long as you're giving that individual opportunity, whatever may be, the incentives may be, I don't really care. Give me an opportunity to have an interview. That's the bottom line.
And Keith, it's like with they correct me if I'm wrong. The rule now, if you don't interview a black candidate, don't they have a punishment?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the current rule is. I'm just basically talking about the proposal.
But hold on. I get it, but let me finish. Like, they have a punishment, so they've already instituted something to punish you if you don't interview a black coach. So the point now is, okay, let's try to put some incentives in there. Let's try to go with the opposite effect. Since the current punishment is not working, let's try to do the incentive route.
We're not even getting interviews at this point. They already giving a job to somebody else that's not even qualified. That's all we asking for. We're qualified. We have qualification experience, and we're not even getting an interview to even stand upon our qualifications.
And the established
I would
rule.
just look.
Go ahead.
Now, I had a question. I was just looking at it, reading about it, because I ain't hear about it. What do they consider a primary football executive? Unless I'm reading an old article, it's saying a head coach or a primary.
They're talking about a general manager.
Only general manager.
Head coach.
Not even. I don't even think this was this proposed part was about the head coach. I thought this was about general manager and in the front office more so than actually on the head coach.
Well, it says head coach or.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But I was just making sure it's just GMs and not them trying to throw somebody else.
GMs should get more incentives to hire a GM, African American GM.
Yeah, that's
and those who propose this rule also saying owners too, that they know it's not part of the penalization, but they're saying that we need representation in coaches, in the organization, behind the scenes, and owners.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the proposal is not. I know for a fact that we need more black head coaches, we need more black general managers in there. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm talking about the incentives that they had put out there, and what was proposed was so far over the top.
See,
compared to where
I've been following this
to the next.
Keith, I've been following this. I did not see nowhere they say 16 draft picks. But the main point though that they're trying to make is that, again, you kind of missed it too. It's not the organization that hires that coach. It's the organization that brings this coach up in his layers. Because they say, like, let's be real. A lot of us here, I know all y'all dudes, going back a lot of years, and even Tony, who has been in this environment, is saying, like, these people have to, like, to get your foot in the door, you got to work for free for a few years. How many of us has the opportunity or can do that? We can't. A lot of these people who do, their grandfather and their cousins, uncles, and aunts, and their grandfathers and their fathers have been in the environment for a long time. So guess what? They don't need a check every week, and they build their resume up in this environment because of the fact that they don't get a check. Then all of a sudden, guess what? They get this. They get down there defensive. They not even defensive. They defensive end coach. They can build up. But you had to work for free for some years. So this rule is saying, you know what? If organization takes some black people who've been in the sport, who show some knowledge in the game, pay them, bring them up, and then they go to
in this long ass roundabout way that you're saying, and I hear everything you're saying. But what my point is, because goddamn, was we gonna ever get to the end? What my point was, huh?
Go ahead.
Well, my point was still not based off of what the hell they do. It was too much shit. It was not based off of what they're doing. They're just getting it because they're black. I don't want to go to my job and them give me extra money or extra incentives just because I'm black, not because of how well I do.
I'll take it.
Hey, Keith,
just give me the opportunity. That's all I'm asking for.
Where I was going was that. Hold on. Where I was going was not that.
Get there.
I'm gonna get there. The money. So I go to the Ravens. Before, the Ravens got the credit. Now, if I was at the Browns and came up in the Browns get something. That's the difference.
That's fine, but
that wasn't before. That never happened before.
I'm talking about what the proposal that I saw. I want the shit to be based off of how well I do my job. If I put a playoff team together, then yeah, give me my draft picks or what have you, but not just because I'm a black head coach or I'm a black general manager that my organization automatically.
No, but see, Jake, so you're wrong.
Third round.
You're wrong.
That's not
The point is that the Browns, like my example, the Browns gave you the opportunity.
Talk about this. Y'all two need to call each other.
All right, go ahead. The point is the team that bring you up gets credit, not the team.
Oh man, he cut his mic off.
Podcast,
man. Man. It's some Wildcats podcast. Hey, Glenn, and did that. I did not do that. And did that, man. Cut your mic off, man. We talking via the Zoom verse.
Yeah, we're finished, Glenn.
Yeah, they're gonna finish that conversation offline about the Rooney Rule and all that. Boy, this dude is terrible, boy. All right, so we're gonna go on to some more I guess political, I don't know what you call this, the mask wearing controversy. I think it's with Karen. That's what it started with? The Karen. Help me out, Keith. You gave this topic about wearing your mask now. What was this about?
It wasn't just Karen. It was just the people that don't want to wear the mask in the store, talking about they free to do whatever, and it's not, you're not supposed to be wearing a mask. And I just see, all these folks that's talking about they don't have to wear a mask, and the reason why they not wearing a mask, and police are being involved in it now. So I want to know what y'all thoughts was on it.
Don't come into my establishment.
Don't come around.
Basically, you're not only affecting yourself, you're affecting others. You know what I'm saying? If you don't agree to wear the mask, then you need to stay in your house.
Yeah, and it's looking like they're taking it like you taking away some of their rights by them having to wear a mask to come into that establishment. And I'm not seeing it that way. I'm thinking if anything, they're trying to protect you from whatever else is going on around you. But
in a sense, I mean, just by the law, you are kind of taking away somebody's rights by telling them they have to do something. But that's
I mean, I don't see it no different than telling you that you got to have on shoes and a shirt when you come in the establishment.
Or a seatbelt, right? Or I mean, wearing a seatbelt. I mean, it's for your safety. This is different. This is for your safety and others.
But hey, a lot of people don't understand.
The only difference in that is
Go Shelly. Go Shelly.
I saw a meme that related it to the lines in the street. So I stay within the lines in the street because it protects you and me. And if you don't have to wear a mask, I don't have to stay within the lines in the street, and I could just drive and hit you if I want to. So, I mean, it's the same thing.
It's different, though, because you drive in between the lines in the street because that's actually a law. Like, they can recommend you to wear the mask. They can recommend you to wear a mask, but they can't write a law to, one, keep you in the house or make you wear a mask. And technically, if you
write
had
a law. Wear a mask.
They did it. It's already done.
They have
right.
to go.
Okay.
It's not lifted until June 1.
Sit back and
But you know what? A lot of people don't understand the reason why you should wear a mask. The real reason for the mask is not to say that you don't get the virus. The reason for the mask is a lot of people are asymptomatic. They don't know they have the virus. And the mask stops you from spreading it. Instead of it spreading 6 feet, it spreads 1 feet. Because it goes to the mask, goes straight down.
I beg to differ. I think a lot of people, those people that don't want to wear it know what the consequence is.
Hey, Glenn, I disagree with the word, and you said a lot, like Andy said, a lot of it's not a lot of people. Some people just don't want to wear the mask. Period. They know the effects of it. They just don't. They want to go against the grain.
Glenn, do you drive 50 miles per hour, 55 miles per hour all the time? No.
Most of the time. There you go. But hold on. When I'm on my motorcycle and I drive 110, I'm not running in the back of nobody. I make sure I got a clear lane and I'm blasting in.
You think so? And then somebody come out in front of you, then what?
Right.
That's why I asked you to drive 55 miles per hour versus.
I do my social distancing. I break it down, get my far left lane.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, but my point is just about going into this establishment. It's about going into the establishment, and I think it's no different than them telling you that you got to have on shoes and a shirt to come into my establishment. If that's not if you don't want to wear a mask, then you're not welcome here.
That's bottom
line. Yeah, and that's completely fine because like these companies are private places. They have every right to say that. That's perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, it's getting to the point that you got to get law enforcement now that they're recording themselves on their phone like their rights are being violated and all this. And it's like, nah, if you don't want to wear a mask, you're just not welcome in this establishment.
Don't come here.
Take care
I agree
of
with you, Keith. I'm with you, Keith.
But that's the selfishness of it.
That's just the ignorance,
yourself,
people.
Because you ain't thinking about protecting other people.
Because technically, if you think about it, if you all have a mask on in the store and I walk in, how can I possibly get you sick if you have a mask on? And as they say with an N95 mask, you can't get sick. Think about that. It's like,
but that's what you said.
But you said an N95 mask.
Time out.
You said an N95 mask.
Riz, Bob, that's the point I just made just now. People think I got my mask on. No, there's only one mask that really stop you from getting sick. Yes. The mask stops you from spreading it. So when you sneeze, when you cough, when you breathe, it stops it from your blast radius gets reduced. Your blast radius reduced.
Going back to what I just said, what you just said. Okay, if everybody goes in the store and they got their shoes and their shirt on, and I want to go in there without my shirt off, how is that bothering anybody? It's the same thing. I mean, and Heather, go so you get animated with it. What was you about to say?
No, I mean. So my mother right now is battling cancer. I haven't seen her in almost now over 3 months since all this broke, right? Since like basketball season. Because I still have to be out and about, go to the store, grocery shopping, and I'm not going to like possibly come into contact with someone. My immune system's great. Knock on wood.
Give it to your mother.
Exactly. My mother's down to 96 pounds right now.
Yep.
So I'm not going near my own mother to make sure that she remains as safe as possible. Bottom line.
Right.
So when I see these assholes, because that's what they are, walking around thinking that they can do whatever, and like these idiots in Ocean City, these idiots in Baltimore, because it doesn't even matter what color, what ethnicity, what nationality, whatever you want to say. Idiots are idiots. The ones that don't want to wear the mask, the ones that think that it's not a real thing, that the government is hyping it. The virus is real. I work for a scientific company. The virus is real. Is there a lot of misinformation out here? Yes, absolutely. Is it get hyped a little bit sometimes? Absolutely. But it's real. It can kill people of all ages, whether you have health issues or not. So if you don't want to wear a mask, stay the fuck away from me, because I'll punch you in the face. That's all it is.
I just think I like that. I like that.
Gangsta.
That's good shit. That's good shit. I think it's incredible. All right. This is a Wildcats podcast. And we're going to leave this last controversy alone now. And we're going to get to the point of the whole show and why you come here. It's the FIUU Candidate of the Week. And I believe we have somebody. If y'all don't know what FIUU is, we give somebody an award where we give them a scholarship to fuck it up university for some dumbass shit they did during the past week. And we have this gentleman that has been highlighted on World Star Hip Hop for taping himself beating up an elderly man in a nursing home. And it's fucking terrible. I wish I had his name. I wish I had some information on him, but we couldn't find that. But if you go to World Star Hip Hop, you can see it. It's trending on their page, and it's terrible because he's essentially saying he's beating up the old elderly man because he's in his bed in a nursing home, and he just hits him repeatedly over and over and over again, and it's just fucking terrible. So he is the FIU Candidate of the Week. Biden was close. He was a close second.
I know this is Snoop Dogg. This is a Snoop Dogg video.
Man, and
got his name.
How do we send him a scholarship if we don't have his name, Greg?
Mud said got his name. Mud got his name. Mud.
Jaden T. Hayden.
We got
the internet has everything.
2 accounts of assault with intent to do bodily harm.
There we go. And taping on top of that.
Appreciate that, Mud.
Thanks,
so
Mud.
Jaden T. Hayden. That's his name?
Jaden T. Yep, Jaden T. Hayden.
Jaden T. Hayden. He's processing his paperwork. He's been given a full ride. What department we gonna put him in, fellas?
Detroit.
Physical Department of Self-Defense.
Self-defense.
Self-defense? What?
I don't know. Just...
What?
Is it criminology?
Criminology, there you go.
Criminology.
It sounds like he needs social work.
Yeah, that too.
He's a social work major? Damn. All right, so Jaden T. Hayden, his paperwork has been processed. He's going to the social work department via political science. I believe that's it. We all give it up one time for the FIU Candidate of the Week, my man Jaden T. Hayden. Give it up one time for this asshole.
What are we doing?
Loser. Bastard. All right, and hey, I want to say one time I appreciate y'all for joining us, to my man Mud, to Shelly, to Heather, to my dude Rez. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. It's some Wildcats podcast. You can catch us on your favorite podcast app. That's including SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartMedia, wherever. You just Google some Wildcats. We're right there. We appreciate y'all checking out the show. Fellas, y'all got any last words, fellas? Anybody? Anything?
Hey,
Red. Think about voting.
Red, he beat me to it. I was gonna say, Rez, we need you to vote, Rez.
We need you to vote, brother. We need
hey, census too. Hey, census, voting census.
Unmute your shit, Rez. Mute your shit.
No, we don't need a comment on what we said.
I will definitely look up my local, the local politicians.
Yeah, like, definitely.
It's just so much other stuff that I research on a day-to-day basis, from what's actually going on with coronavirus, looking up research studies. You know, you get away from the simple stuff like that because I definitely
get back on it. Get back on your primary. you got too much common sense and too much knowledge with you right now to get on your primary and go vote.
And stop driving with your cell phone in your hand.
Hey, where you from, Rez? Hey, Rez, where you from?
Baltimore.
Where you from? Baltimore. Okay.
All right.
Hey, what everybody gonna do now that there ain't no more Last Dance?
Huh?
Look at something else.
Now I'm about to watch CNN thing because they.
Hey, one time, let me end this for Malik. Thanks for checking out the podcast. It's being brought to you by Community Cuts for Kids 2020. It has been officially canceled. Coronavirus got us, baby. Hey, still go to the Brendan Craig Shields Foundation's website. That's thecraigshillsfoundation.org. We appreciate y'all checking us out. Until next time, we out, peoples. All right, that's
all right. Peace.
All right.
We still on.
Thank you, Lee.
We still on for a couple seconds.
All right. But Rez, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you having the ball come on the show and actually say, when you said that to me, man, I was like, Lord.
Hey, Rez, let me ask you this real quick. Hey, Rez, let me ask you this real quick, because I get the impression that you're a different demographic than most on this call. So let me ask you, do you have a lot of your friends where'd he go?
You was buzzing out. You faded out.
No. I was asked. I said, there's probably most on this call or most on the Zoom are pretty much in the same demographic. But Reg, I get the impression that you're a little bit younger. So, do you have a lot of your friends that feel the same way, where they're just not gonna vote?
No. Most of my friends they do it because they're just so used to doing it. That's why I try to break it down to them in a way to understand what you're actually voting for and show people what you're voting for. And definitely when I talk to them about the local politicians, I have plenty of friends who go out and vote and are very common with the local politicians. But on the larger scale of just the executives and voting for presidents, all of my friends I know, I let them know why I don't vote, and I let them know why I'm adamant about not voting.
Hey Rez, you sound like a very intelligent individual, and I just want to say that you have good parts of your argument, but you're fortunate because of where you live at. Midwest, some of the West Coast, some of those Democratic leading in states, your vote does count. So when someone hears you make an intelligent argument about not voting, about not voting, and they then adapt the same thing, but they live in a different district, that does make a difference.
But how can we say that at the same time when, like you said, district to district, because my district is different from people in the West? That's another thing you got to think about. The system has made it whereas though district to district, we give you specific amounts of electoral votes, which gives you a heightened probability of winning based on demographic, other things.
Yes. But you can't change the system if you don't vote.
Go.
But I can't agree with that because I've for too long I've known that the only way to defeat this system is to destroy it. Definitely local and state politicians, it is great to vote for, but like y'all said earlier, the president isn't all powerful. He's a figurehead. He only gets 8 years. He's on level 17 of secrecy. It's harder to get rid of a congressman than it is legally to get rid of a president.
Yes, you're right. People understand that. Yeah. People say they sit in office 15, 18, 20 years. Why? And for that reason.
Well, we know the system is fucked up. We know the system's messed up, man. But at the end of the day, you can't let that sway you from not voting, man. You got to get out there. You got to, like everybody just said, they say you're a smart dude, but man, you got to do your research and vote, man. I got a couple youngers I work with that are college graduates, the Division 1A athletes, and these dudes tell me they don't vote, man. I just look at them like, man, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, man, you got it. You got to try.
I fully hear you, but like I was saying, explain to me how the difference between the last election with the election with Al Gore and Bush and the difference between and Hillary Clinton.
Because Craig, before you want me to turn off the recording, Craig?
Different.
Craig, you want me to keep recording this?
Go ahead.
You know what? Keep it going. Yeah, keep it going. Fuck it. Keep going.
Hey, so go ahead, Al. Do you want to take? He said the difference. Can you address the difference, Al? I can address it too, Al. But if you want to take it, Al, go ahead.
I got a piece of it. The difference is the Al Gore Bush thing was a lot of the votes was not counted in Florida. They had a big issue with
because of his brother, Jeb.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of those votes didn't get counted. Now the other one was you said I forgot what. With Trump and Hillary, he was one of the only 5 presidents to ever get voted in by the electoral college. He was correct about that.
But
and he didn't win the popular vote. So you are correct about that. You are certain parts. You are correct about the electoral college part of the president.
Yes, he is 100%. I agree with him. That's why. But I made the point though is you can't use that for your.
Part of it, Glenn. It's not 100%.
You're right. I'm incorrect.
He's 100%. But the argument about the electoral college can go against. But my argument is that only like 3 or 4% of the time in history that someone's gone against the majority vote of their district.
Oh no, that's not what I was saying. I got you now. That's not what I was saying. I'm saying in that. Oh, okay, I got you now. In that, the electoral college can decide to say hell with either of them. I'm not saying pick one or over the other because of the popular vote basis versus the electoral vote. Regardless who wins the electoral vote, since we know that's what we vote for, the electoral college can say hell with both of them. Hell with both of them. That is a legal thing that the electoral college can do. They can pick somebody completely different to who they choose. And
but that's my point is they don't though. They can, but it doesn't happen.
They haven't yet, but we have seen where history has gone. And like I said earlier, a little tidbit, all presidents are related. Every single president is related to each other but one. So the narrative is being led. The narrative's being led. Like a little girl.
But you basic.
Go ahead. What you say?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What you say?
No, I was just going to say you're
because a lot of people.
Go ahead, Mud.
Nah, all I was gonna say is you basing your decision on what, because you just said it where it sounded like you said it, on what could happen. Could happen. So all these times you don't vote and it didn't happen, you didn't vote over something that could have happened.
100%. And also the point your argument about being related, we all know it. Listen right now.
What I go off of is since I've only been able to vote 3 times. I've only been able to vote.
You breaking up big time, man.
Breaking up.
You breaking up big time, Rez.
Hey, but
you breaking up for a reason, Rez.
Hey, Rez, if you hear what I'm saying,
hey, Rez, y'all better than me because I don't got the patience to tell this young fella why he need to vote. He got mad at
you should though, Anthony.
I don't got the patience for this.
You got to, man.
Y'all better than me.
He's not lost. This dude's not lost. He's not lost.
Y'all better than me. I'm not saying he lost at all. He got an opinion. He got a view.
No. I'm actually a conscious individual.
So y'all better than me.
Right, we just
better than you.
Let's go back to your argument about being related. All the presidents being related. We all know, let's be honest, that let's say in this area, I mean, you live in Baltimore, there's a 5-degree separation. You go 5 degrees between anybody in this area, you know somebody that knows somebody with 5 degrees. The same thing as well as those who's in power, who got money, there's a 5-degree separation. So of course, there's always, to make an argument, you can always find something to make your argument, but you can't use that to make your decision.
I've definitely heard people say
Obama is related to them too.
Somehow you go far enough, maybe not 5 degrees, they 7 degrees. But everybody somehow there's a relation somehow, some way. That's why ancestry makes so much money.
That is incorrect. That is incorrect.
No, it's not.
I can't let you continue with that. I can't let you that is incorrect. Don't believe that. And the fact that we are living this democratic system of America where we feel like we have a choice, and every president except for 1 out of 46 is related to each other, and we know how family ties and wealth is, but they don't tell you this information. Just question that. I understand I definitely need to vote on the scale of state and local, but as far as the executive office and when you vote for the president, regardless of who you vote for, you vote for them. I understand what y'all saying completely. And definitely I shouldn't throw the argument of the electoral college out unless I can fully break it down. But if at the end of the day, we all vote in a system, and since I could only vote since 2012, I've only been able to see because I'm 25, I've only been able to see what happened in the Al Gore situation, what happened in Trump-Hillary, and what happened in the Obama situation.
So let me ask you this, Rez. What do you think happened in the Obama situation? What's your opinion on that? Why didn't they go the exact opposite way to make sure a black president wasn't elected?
Right.
Al Gore subsided. Al Gore gave.
Let me finish.
He could afford it.
Glenn, let me answer the question.
Wait. Does it? Ask the question.
What do you think happened in the Obama election? The fact that they didn't, since they have this right to do it, why wouldn't you think that they would go the opposite way with Obama and say, you know what, we're going to make sure this black man's not president?
Just like it's going to sound crazy as hell when I say it. Just like I think Shelley said, Obama's related to them too.
Breaking up again.
He needs to say that again. I need to.
Yeah, we ain't hearing that you say it, Rez.
Broke up again, Rez.
It's
a continuation of a system. This is something that they, just like, I forgot if Shelley said it, Obama's related to him too, right? If you do the research, Obama's related to him too. This is a continuation of a family, a bloodline lineage. And what did Obama do? What, no.
Go far enough, yes.
So what difference does it make? Okay, so they related, so what? Well, okay, what's the end game of that? They are
all of the presidents except for one are in direct.
Okay, you made that point like 6 times. What difference does that make? What difference does that make? They're related. We get that point. What at the end of the day?
They're all plumbers. Some families are all cooks.
Some are all pizza makers.
So. Wait. We live in a democracy. This is not a monarchy, right? A monarchy is when the head family runs things. That is not the democratic system we're in. That's not a democratic system at all, right? You don't have a problem with the fact that, let's say it was the Kennedys, if all Kennedys were just presidents. You wouldn't have a problem with that. That becomes a conflict of interest after a time. And with specifically us, with the policies that the presidents sign or veto.
I have a problem with voting and having an opinion about it.
What'd you say?
Yes, true.
I have a problem with you having an opinion about it, but not voting on it. At least voting on it.
I have a problem with people voting, not knowing who or what they vote for, because a lot of people don't even know they vote for the Electoral College. I have a problem with people not being properly informed on the things that they sign themselves away to. Me, you, everybody in this conversation has signed contracts, and your parents has signed this is unrelated, but we've all signed contracts on our social security cards that make us livestock in this system we live in.
Reg, my thing, everything you saying is making sense. That's cool and everything, but how can you have an opinion on any of this if you don't even vote, man? That's my whole problem, dude. I mean, you saying all this stuff and you running all this down, but you're not even voting. Why are you mad at this person who they're voting for? Because they don't.
I'm not mad at nobody. I'm not mad. Look, I'm sorry.
You're not even voting. How is that?
He never said he was mad at
anybody.
Well, he said he didn't. He said this person is voting. They don't know who the background about why they're voting for that person. Basically,
no, I'm not upset about who they're voting for. I'm upset because many people, especially my generation, don't take the time to think, process, and make conscious decisions. That's what I'm upset about.
What are you doing to get involved?
The Trump supporters have no idea what they're voting for. You know how many Trump supporters don't know anything about the Electoral College?
All of them. All of them. Almost all of them.
Anything about law.
Across the board. It happens with everyone.
Them fucks don't know how to wipe their ass the right way.
Trump don't know about the law. He don't know how
Trump don't know about the law. Trump don't know the law.
He don't know.
Okay, but this is my point though. You said it earlier, and this is my point. You said that you were making this, correct me if I'm wrong. You said what could happen, right?
I said that they have the ability to. Not what could happen.
So
same thing.
Okay, they have the ability to, but they didn't, or they might not. So my thing is, you don't take it.
In the time I've watched, they haven't gone to the point of completely annexing somebody's name out. But like I said earlier, in the but y'all told me I was incorrect because y'all told me about the percentage of it was about.
It's very minimal, and it's never went against the majority. So it never changed the vote.
Even still, if it's
he's driving again, y'all.
Shit breaking up.
What'd you say?
Hey, your phone broke up again, man.
Hey, man, we need
this
you.
Is my thing, though. This is my thing, though. As a teacher, I'm a teacher. So up top don't really affect me as much as what's local. And it bothers me just as much as it may bother you about what could happen. It bothers me that enough people don't look from the local level. And
yes, and I'm completely wrong for that. I'm out of pocket for that.
I know, that's what I said. You said that you're going, you're going to look into that. But my thing is, you're not, to me, it's like something's being offered to you and you're saying, well, I'm not going to use it because it might not work.
Well, what is
and you
what
won't
is being
know
offered
till
to me?
after
The
the
vote?
fact.
Is the vote what's being offered to me, you're saying?
The opportunity to voice the opportunity to voice your stance on who you think should be on. Like you have the opportunity that, I mean, you could break it down. You could just, everybody's hitting you on all different kinds of angles, but just the simplest form is like, you can take it back to people died for the right to vote.
So y'all are asking who I want.
Information we gave him and think about voting.
Information
in that.
How about the information we gave you? You pull over and be on your phone rather than drive around and be looking at your phone.
I just pulled up.
Pop that shit.
On the road, man. No.
You going in and out, motherfucker.
The keys out the car.
And you're breaking up so much. You need to make a conscious decision on
Wait a minute, are we still talking about this? Are we still talking about Young and why he ain't voting? Another topic yet?
On getting Verizon, son.
Are we on another topic?
Vote on that.
I know Craig. I know what you're talking about. Craig gonna be like, why you go at my young fella like that? I know Craig like, why you had to be an asshole? Why you had to go at my young fella like that? I know that's gonna be the conversation tomorrow.
Hey, man. Let me make one point. I'm gonna tell y'all a true story. I got a point really about politics. I know of an example that a judge I voted for.
Oh, we still talking about this bullshit.
And I know somebody that judge had objective. And if I would not vote that person in, they might not be in office. They might not be able to push their agenda. That's on the local level.
Y'all, man.
That's a local level.
And Keith, he got that quick for you, Keith. He got that quick for you, Keith.
Hey, this nigga Rez that took us on a tour of Baltimore.
South Hill. We went to Drew Hill.
To the north side. To the south side.
All he didn't say is how we gonna carry it. He didn't say how we gonna carry it. What's up?
Greg, what it tells me is that them Baltimore cell towers are horrible.
Right. That's why Sprint just merged with AT&T.
They went with T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. Oh God, this nigga that took us on the tour, boy. We done been everywhere.
Tell me about it. Woodland. We went to Woodland.
West side.
Are we still talking about this voting thing?
What's up?
We back.
Every come back mad. Come back mad at me every time he comes back.
Right, man. Somebody check on Andy Dog, man.
Tell him don't vote.
Dirk gave up.
Hey, man, somebody check on Andy's Dog, man. Make sure he
keep giving this damn fake-ass history lesson with some bad-ass facts. Oh, yeah, the Electoral College was invented yesterday. And you can't... Bah!
Oh, God.
Hey, Dirk gave up.
Go ahead and say it, Craig. Hey, look, y'all told me to stop code switching, man, and be myself. And I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna stop quantum leaping out this motherfucker. And if I don't want to hit the bullshit, I ain't gonna listen to it.
That's fine. That's how I got coming to every conversation, man. Like.
Oh, he muted it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You said you were doing it on the state and local level. Yeah. You made your point. You good, Shawty. You good.
No, he's not. Hold on a second. He said something. He voted 3 times.
Glenn, you talked more tonight, Glenn, and you didn't talk.
No. I voted once. I voted for Obama the first time. And then after
she vote every year.
That's the difference. That's the difference right there between what happened the last vote and the Obama vote was that right there. You voted. Your vote counted.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
Hey, vote every year, not every 4. That's my point.
Every year.
At the local level.
And that ballot that you got sitting on the table.
You're right. You're right.
That's true, Heather. That's true, Heather.
That ballot you got sitting on the table right now, fill that shit out and mail it in by June 2nd.
And Baltimore needs it too.
Come on, that's the old heads. This is the old heads talking to you. So now we've been here a little while longer.
I hear you. But
good job, fellas. Good job. You guys did your community service for the day.
Craig, can you mute Anthony?
I can't mute him, man. I would try to, man.
A lot more information about.
He's doing a great job right now.
What's going on, man?
Being the asshole, I like being that asshole.
Hold on. Let me say this.
He on the phone.
Let me say this part, y'all. This part of the show is unofficially by Gentleman Jack.
Look, Al, hey, you never chimed in on the whole GM, the proposal, the Rooney Rule proposal. What was your take on it? That was your subject too.
The Rooney Rule.
Say it again. I'm sorry, Keith.
I said you put in about the Rooney Rule. You never chimed in on that, John either.
Yeah, because everybody was talking, man. So I just let it ride.
Go ahead, Al.
Hear
your piece. Go ahead, Al.
No. What you drinking? What is that? That's a drink?
Killer.
It's called mesquite.
Oh, I thought that was some rubbing oil. I thought that was some
rubbing
alcohol or something. I'm looking like that. What are you about to cook? He about to saute some spinach?
He don't cook. He don't know. He don't drink.
I cook.
Come on, Al. Give it to me, Al. Give it to me, Al.
You about to saute some spinach?
Bring something you recognize. There you go.
There you go.
Okay, there you go. I guess that's some good stuff.
That's true. Check.
I'll go.
Rooney Rule though.
Well,
No. I didn't really read too much into the Rooney Rule, but I knew for a fact that a lot of people were saying that the NFL was going over the top.
Right.
I
think we might have been wrong calling it the Rooney Rule. It was just the proposed thing that they had out there. I may have had the two mixed up together. It wasn't so much.
No. They actually called it an extension of the Rooney Rule.
Yeah, okay. That
16 number has popped up. But what they're saying that you can get up to 16 draft picks
and move up 16 spots in the third round.
Right, exactly.
Right. I still don't think that's based off of how you do your job, though. Is what?
No. I'll be honest with you, man. Whatever it takes to kind of get us in these positions, I'm all for it. The problem is when we start getting into it and then they slide it back out. Like we talked about with Cole a couple of weeks ago, we're never going to own until we start owning this stuff.
Hey, Hannah and Shelly, they said when they get into it, slide it back out, they started dying.
Yep. What? Have hard too.
You say what?
Continue, please.
But yeah, I'm with you, Anthony. But the thing, I think, see, this the part that people didn't catch about the Rooney Rule is they slid in that any assistant coach can
again. Don't say slide in.
You know what, Al? Fuck it, Al. They never gonna let you get your point, Al. That's telling us why you stay there.
Go, Al. Go.
That's why I mute most of the time, man. That's why I mute. That and noise in the background.
Talk to me. I asked the question. Talk to me. Block out the rest of the screen.
No, I was just saying, all thing I was saying is they slid in it. A lot of people didn't pay attention. They slid in that any assistant coach now with that Rooney Rule can go for any job they want without a head coach permission now. So with that Rooney Rule, they slid in assistant head coaches can do anything they want.
Every time y'all say Rooney Rule, it makes me want to laugh.
Like 16 times.
Right.
What's wrong with the Rooney Rule? That's what it's called, the Rooney Rule.
But you understand that a lot of the rewards don't go to the team that hired the guy, goes to the team that brought that guy up. That's why you're missing that point.
Okay, I mean, like I said, I didn't see the whole proposal. I was just saying that what the part that they had highlighted on SportsCenter, it looked like it was too much over the top. Was what I was saying. It wasn't performance based.
But that's my point though, is that it was the point that it brings, if you nurture a guy, bring him up, he goes somewhere else, you get nothing for bringing him up. So what's the incentive of bringing the guy up? So they're trying to say, you know what? You bring this guy up, he goes somewhere and get a head coach job. Guess what? Now we're going to reward you for putting him in an environment that he could grow and be able to.
I didn't see that part of it. All I
That's
saw
the main part of it. That was the
if
main
you-
part of it.
If you
dumb.
hire a minority, that you get these incentives for hiring them, just for hiring a minority.
No, it wasn't for hiring the reward. It's the organization that brought him up. Not
it still has to be voted on. It still has to be voted on.
Yeah.
This would have been good to have Carl back to chime in on that too. Carl could have probably cleaned it up for us.
Well, I'm not laughing, but Nichelle is. I'm just saying.
Thanks. He snitched quick. Wow.
Wait. So the NFL now is trying to. Maybe I'm the devil's advocate.
Hey, Craig, you know we still Facebook Live. You want me to stay Facebook Live, Craig?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
I feel like devil's advocate, but now the NFL is trying to make rules. The NFL is now trying to make rules and give incentives for hiring black people, but like I still feel some type of way that like Kaepernick handled that whole situation behind closed doors when black people was out here fighting for him with that. And honestly, at the end of the day, I know we want to see football, but it's kind of like with the presidency. If we know they don't like us and they're continuously just going, do what they want to do to keep us in the positions we're in, not pay people.
Time out. You got a Lamar Jackson jersey on the back seat. Cut it out.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Cut it out. All of Baltimore got a damn Lamar Jackson jersey right
Hell
there.
no, not me. Hey, look, the Ravens, they cool, but I used to love the Chargers, and then the Ravens started fucking up for a little bit. But
so you did like a team.
I like them again. I haven't really watched football like that too much just because of everything political that's been going on with it. I'm like, I really just want to see football, but a man can't even play football because of his decision to follow his rights to take a knee. So I just kind of
They did say something about Kaepernick too that they put out there that he had retired when that wasn't the case.
Yeah. Well, they said they posted a new website, and on the new website they had him on retirement.
Yeah, so they went back and changed.
Yeah, I don't understand. This is the part that I don't understand is why the NFL keep messing with Kaepernick when basically he just doing his own thing.
I don't understand why
they keep messing with him. How they messing with him, Al? Like you said, they keep messing with him.
Yeah, because all of it, like we know about the fake tryout situation. We know about.
Okay.
And then we know about.
What fake tryout? Wait. That wasn't fake.
We know about the tryout situation, but
I don't know about no fake tryout.
So how else they picking with him, Al?
No, it was a fake tryout because
it was a tryout, Al.
It was a tryout.
No.
Let me make his point.
No.
Gotta make his point.
Right. Nobody won't let nobody make no point in here. And my whole thing is the whole situation is Kaepernick camp caught them trying to make him make a decision and sign paperwork that it was an extension of what it didn't supposed to happen. So he changed. You know what? Fuck it. Right.
No. I'm with
you. Still no. You was getting it, Al.
Look, Craig. Craig over here dancing and shit. That's what Craig. He looking at Craig dancing. Craig bullshit, man. Craig over here dancing.
Your dog walking all on your pillow.
Hold up. I didn't say a goddamn thing. So I'm trying to get to the man make his point. What's wrong with you?
This was you Harlem shaking over there. How that man talking?
Hey man, y'all
come on, man.
Y'all the worst, man.
Regardless of what they was trying to get him to sign, though, it was still a tryout. It was a real trial. You saying it was fake, but how was it? You was trying to get there, but how was it fake?
Because they tried to get him to sign some bullshit before the trial went down, so therefore it was fake.
But you got to understand. The NFL funded the trial. They were paying for the original location that it was at. They were paying for the cameras. They were paying for everything.
Only if he signed that document, though.
You're right. But with that, every time the NFL's name is used on something or their likeness, it has to be paid for, and you have to sign a contract to use that likeness.
Yes.
That's why he went somewhere else to do
verbiage inside of that document that they talked about that said a lot more than just using.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I can only talk about it from the outside perspective and the multiple sources of information we got. But in my opinion, personally, if it was me, I wouldn't have wanted the NFL to do it, especially if we just went to court and I found out that you were guilty for doing what y'all did. but we handled that behind closed doors. Me personally, I love football, and if I was in Cat's position, I would not want to go back to the NFL. Like, because they literally played with that man because he took a knee, something that is your right, and then they used the organization, the Army, as the reason for why it was wrong when the Army fights for your right to take a knee. I wouldn't want to be a part of that group anyway.
Cap doesn't want to go back. He didn't want to go back.
And yes, here we are.
Cap gonna be governor of California in about 5-10 years. Let's watch.
Probably.
No, sir.
Right up there with Arnold.
You know what? It's gonna probably be somebody out there that don't vote for him.
Because the military
now.
Military fight for that right too.
Patience. You say you didn't have patience, but you gonna sit there with your ass off.
Oh, they being all sensitive.
Hey, the military fight for the right to vote too.
All right, Rouse Tresvant.
How you said your timings was off? You know, it was.
I got work on it. Material was good though, right? Was material good?
You've been using the same material for 30 years. How's it good?
All right. I got to come up with some new shit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll work on that.
Hey, y'all, Greg is chiming in on our live right now, y'all.
Tell him to get on the Zoom. Send him the Zoom.
Bring him in.
Send him the Zoom. Ain't nobody got to go to work tomorrow. It's a holiday. Get on the Zoom.
Somebody rushing off a last.
Send him the link.
We used to rush off just because of Last Dance.
I'm about to slide out of here, head to the other side of Baltimore.
All right, yeah, man.
Hey, you be safe out there, man.
We're gonna vote if you can go.
I will.
Hey, Rez, you be safe, man. You be safe out there. Where your mask at?
Yeah, Rez, where your mask?
Yeah, where your mask at, Rez?
Where your mask at?
Get him, Heather.
With that, all right, let's have them in the car for when I go to work because I work in the cannabis industry, so I have to. But I don't. I won't.
Get him, Heather.
I won't assist in adding to the level of fear. I've done too much research. Yes, like the
Heather, get him.
Coronavirus.
Get him, Heather.
It is a real.
Why don't you send me your email?
He's being a real Karen.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, post your email. I'll send you some information from a scientist.
I
will. Like I only. No. I like that because I only.
I don't spread. I used to work in media, and I know how media. Hype information.
That's my major. Yeah.
I don't hype information. I give accurate information. And
yes,
I vote.
ma'am.
And
yes.
I don't.
Put your mask on.
I got my uncle passed from me.
Young, you don't have to call me. You don't have to call me man.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm gonna post it. Send me some information. I'm gonna send you some information because it is I've talked to a couple of scientists and a couple of engineers. It's such a connective tissue issue of what's going on with coronavirus, but I've been citing things from scholarly articles and other documentation from doctors all over the world.
Okay. And
from it, so damn all that time.
And hey, Rez,
I need those
scholars you talk to,
I need you to wear your mask.
Those scholars you talk to, they said do not wear masks.
They said
or they say you don't have
your phone in your hand.
No. Let me break it down. Give me about 15 seconds. It's not wear a mask. You can wear a mask if you choose to. Your body is set up, your immune system is set up to take in germs when you breathe, break those down, exhale them out. Right. What you're doing by wearing a mask all the time, you're actually hurting yourself because when you breathe out that carbon dioxide, the impurities come out of your body that you're supposed to breathe out. So when you have that mask on your face all the time, you're breathing back in the bad germs that your body is naturally pushing out. And to go into what's going to happen when people finally go back out, it's going to be a lot of death because your immune system is made to live in an environment around germs because viruses are everywhere and you get used to them.
Newsflash, it's been 100,000 deaths already.
I can't buy that.
My uncle.
So what?
Any of y'all parents used to put y'all together when y'all had chicken pox? Have any of y'all parents used to put y'all together with friends when y'all had chicken pox back in?
Your phone's going out again.
Oh.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard of that. that.
You didn't die.
That's because that's how the human body works. Your body is made to bump into germs and be affected by viruses that are everywhere. Viruses are on everything. The one biggest thing about coronavirus that they won't tell you is dogs have the most different types of coronavirus, but they won't say that. That'll send people into a fright. They won't tell you.
All right, did you make it there yet?
Craig, thank you for inviting us.
All right, be safe. Be safe, Roz.
Amazing.
I can't rock with none of that.
Craig.
Hey, thanks for coming, Heather. Thanks for coming, Shelly. I really appreciate y'all.
I understand that you may not be able to rock with it, but there are a lot of things in reality that we may not like, but they are still reality. And that's what that's what
my thing is what's real for me is that my uncle was in a nursing home and it was on lockdown, no visitors.
I feel you. And
all
I don't
of a sudden,
take that away from anybody.
Boom, he got it.
Yeah,
and who knows how he got it, but he got it.
Matter of fact, I'm sending my email now because my bad. I apologize.
Go ahead, Mud.
Now I was saying because he passed from it. Now my thing is I don't know what happened, but somebody that worked at that nursing home brought it in there, and it wasn't in there before. It wasn't in there before, but it came in there because no other guests, people wasn't allowed, my aunts and uncles wasn't allowed to visit him, and they got brought in there. I see your email. So it's real, and my thing is it's selfish to me to not wear a mask to protect other people or even the people in your house. Like I had a big problem with this dude that stays with his mother, and he was out at a party the third week of the lockdown. They at a party, like a for real party, and he got his mother and his brother and his sister at home. So you might not give a damn about yourself, but what about your family? It's just selfish to me.
I only stay to myself and my girl, and we both are completely educated on this topic. I understand, and first of all, I want to apologize because I don't like because this situation is so touchy. I understand it affects people, but I can email you documentation from multiple health organizations that is saying if people are in hospice care, specifically, if they were in hospice care and they tested them for coronavirus, which since they already had weak immune systems, because coronavirus is very common. Regular coronavirus is common. It's everywhere. You wake up with a head cold. It's either rhinovirus, coronavirus, or it's 3 other viruses. I forgot what they're called.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a spin room in politics?
What'd you say?
Spin articles to say whatever they wanted to say.
That's why I don't deal with politicians. I deal with scientists.
I'm not talking about politicians. I'm talking about
scientists.
Spin room.
Scientists. I hear.
Spin.
I hear you on that.
They can put out documents. They can put out studies to say whatever it is they want it to say.
Let me tell you something, Red. I work for the American Chemical Society, and we work with Johns Hopkins University, whose scientists are.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but personally, I don't trust Johns Hopkins because I know people who Johns Hopkins.
And I don't trust a dude who drives around on his phone, making sure his face is on camera while my son's out on the road.
My apology, but specifically because I'm from Baltimore, Johns Hopkins
doesn't make his voice heard by voting. How about that? Voting doesn't change Johns Hopkins testing on African-American people with autism and other things. And actually, Johns Hopkins isn't the only. He is one scientist.
I'm talking about the university.
Sir.
I'm talking about the university as a whole.
Sir.
Yes.
The American Chemical Society is the largest scientific organization, nonprofit in the world. Okay? That's who I work for. And there are more than just Johns Hopkins scientists working on the coronavirus.
I apologize. I know.
I'm still talking. Excuse me, I'm still talking. I didn't interrupt you.
I apologize.
So all I'm saying to you is, I work for an organization that gets accurate information. We have a webinar every 2 weeks to give us updates. I believe that information because it's not coming from a news organization. It's coming from scientists who are working on finding a cure. That's the difference. Not a spin like what you're trying to do or the information that you're coming with.
Can I retort now?
Of course.
Thank you. But I really do apologize for cutting you off. When I get into kind of debates, I get a little... But yeah, with that, I understand what you're saying. Specifically, Johns Hopkins was the organization who the World Health Organization and all media sources were putting out who gave the initial projections, which were found out to be lies. The most recent Johns Hopkins update.
You keep saying Johns Hopkins. I said he's not the only scientist. So clear that up.
No. I understand that. It's not just Johns Hopkins.
So don't jump on just that.
I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. Let me retort.
You did, and you apologized for it.
May you apologize, please. Now let me retort. So I'm talking about the whole Johns Hopkins system, because they are the system that is coming out, like you said, with this research. The same system who we know has put out research that is incorrect. I actually was talking to a radio host a month ago and sharing information with him. He said he trusts Johns Hopkins. When you hop on Johns Hopkins website, it says that it's about his website. One simple thing, since we can trust them, and I thought I could trust them a month and a half ago too. I loved Johns Hopkins before a month and a half ago when I started doing research. Johns Hopkins says that vaccines don't cause autism. There is a you probably know about it since you work for an organization. Have you ever heard of VAERS, the Vaccine Adverse Effects Researching System?
How do we get on this topic? I mean, like
he's spinning it.
I'm not spinning. I'm not spinning.
What about the Redskins?
It's like arguments are coming for things that are unrelated to what we're talking about.
All I said is your points were very valid.
She pointed out
were very valid tonight about political views, about scientific views. Your points are very valid. Get a little bit more educated, and please go out there and vote and put your phone down. That's all I ask of you.
So by asking me that question, are you saying because I don't work for
question?
Craig, you still want to be Facebook Live with this man?
I didn't say you asked me a question. I said you said something.
Craig, you still want to be Facebook Live with this?
Yeah,
right.
Go ahead, kill it live, man. Thanks for
Kill
taking us on
live.
live.
Thank you, man.
All right, we still on. We just ain't live.
We still on, but just
email me. Email
our Facebook.
We off of Facebook. We still
off Facebook.
live.
Go ahead. We still talking though.
Yeah, y'all can email each other because I mean we're going to places that.
Yeah, because I've definitely had this same conversation with many people, not in the same exact position as you, but you have to understand when you're in that field, and definitely there's spin in the media and all. So what I
hey, Roz, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Who is better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, there we go. Go ahead, Craig. Go in on him, Craig. Get him, Craig.
Hey,
the young man is so misguided. He's so misguided as a young man.
He's misguided.
He's so misguided.
Come on, Black.
No, but I'm playing.
You think Jordan is the GOAT?
By statistics and all, it's LeBron James.
Go ahead, Black.
Wait a minute. You switching up.
Hold on. What you say?
I like my.
That fast, man. Look at that.
Like Michael Jordan better statistically.
Okay, I have to be clear.
Answer Anthony's question.
Hold on. I got to ask you clearly, right?
He's frozen.
Are you still there?
He's frozen.
What you mean? I got you.
Rez, when you say you're a fan of LeBron, are you talking purely basketball, or are you talking about basketball on the court off?
Oh, I am not, personally, I'm not a fan of basketball. I think basketball players are soft. But when you look at statistically, LeBron is a better player.
Answer the question.
So you're answering my question then. You're talking just clearly basketball.
Oh, God.
Basketball players are soft.
Hey,
I'm done.
Environment.
No, I thought he said basketball. He said basketball players were soft.
Yes.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
I played football and I threw shot put and discus. Basketball players are soft to me. I played football and threw shot put and discus. I threw a 35-pound ball.
He's younger than us, Anthony.
Yeah, he like throw balls. Yeah, I get it. He throw balls. That might explain it. He throw balls.
Basketball back in the day, that's real ball.
Hit him on the head.
You said back in the day?
Back in the day.
Basketball back in the day, you had some tough players, but like around.
Your back in the day, you talking about 05?
Right.
No. Hey, look, the toughest motherfuckers right now throw balls. They grab some balls and throw. That's what the tough dudes do now. They grab some balls and they go throw some balls.
He is.
Some 35-pound balls.
Hey, Craig.
That's what the tough dudes do now.
Hey, Craig.
Put it on the neck, man.
Too much
Hey, Craig. I love it.
Why Heather ain't laughing now?
I have two basketball players in my house, and they're definitely not soft. But he's entitled to his opinion. He must not be any good.
I hate this argument. I hear this argument all the time. They compare like present day players against old school. They was harder, they was tougher. They played in that environment. They did what they had to do. And the kids these days, LeBron these days, did what he had to do in that day. I say that all the time.
Now this is the difference between.
He's still not better than Michael Jordan.
When you're trying to compare the kids now or the players now have the blueprint from what those players did before, so they start from where those guys ended.
The training is totally different.
They can watch all of that, and now I can add on to everything that they've done. But at the end of the day, you still gotta have some talent too.
Yeah.
Regardless of what LeBron has added on to, or what any of these new school players have added on to, they still not better than Michael Jordan.
Not better than Mike. No, I'm with you.
I got a question, Craig.
Go right ahead.
Who y'all got, 112 or Jagged Edge? I'm just asking.
I'm a Jagged Edge guy.
Jagged Edge.
I'm a Jagged Edge guy.
But 112 has more hits.
I don't know.
The Jagged
Don't
Edge
matter.
is better
I don't
vote.
know.
You said better. You said better. Hits don't mean nothing. Once you got Puffy behind them.
112 do some work.
They had Puffy behind them.
112 was kind of soft to me.
The beat jacker.
That's true.
Like the new school basketball players.
Can we throw Jodeci in there?
Dirk came back. What's up, Dirk? Hey, Dirk came back.
Y'all need to get off. Y'all need to get off the Zoom. I need the Zoom session. Y'all need to get off.
Wait, did y'all get rid of Rez?
Can we throw
You got
Jodeci
rid
in
of
there?
him, Heather.
Oh, his
You got rid of him.
died?
You chased them off.
You ran them away.
Heather did it.
Phone died, my bad.
Heather was like, Mister.
No, Shelly did it. Shelly
Don't
said,
call me
"Don't
Mrs. I'm not your Mrs.
Don't take the green message out of me. Don't do that.
Sir.
I didn't
Sir.
hear none of that one time.
Sir.
Sir.
I was being
Sir, that was it for me. When she said, sir.
I was being polite. He called me
Shelly smiled this much in her whole life.
Hey.
Shelly been cheesing like I don't know what.
Hey, where do you know the dude?
I brought y'all comedy royalty. I mean, hey.
Where do you know the dude from, Craig?
I delivered.
Who brought him?
I'm gonna tell you, the dude called into the radio station today and said, "Craig Black, I don't vote." I was like, "Hold up, nigga, let me give you this link right now."
You just met him today?
Dude, this man
You
with
just met him today?
This man with today on the radio.
Oh man, that's
That man was saying he don't vote.
He
I was
just
like,
met him
nigga,
today?
I put that man on the radio. I put his audio on the radio. He said, "I don't vote because of this." I played on the radio. I got like 50 calls behind his shit.
Time out.
Hey man, hold on, Keith.
I'm
This
out.
you been on live.
You wasted our time. You wasted our time, man.
Hey,
You wasted our
Craig.
time with
For the
him.
rest of the week.
Hold on,
Rest of the
Craig.
month.
Craig, the fact that you just met this dude today should have got announced on Facebook Live.
Oh my
Everybody
God.
should have known
Time
this.
with him, man.
You just
Because
met
they gonna
this
think
dude?
something
That
about
shit
you.
was
Hey,
great.
you co-signed him,
Like,
Craig.
oh, he must be somebody's family member. Look,
Yeah, Craig co-signed him.
No. I met that nigga today on the radio. That nigga
Well,
said,
I co-signed that dude.
You better go fix that on Facebook Live.
shock value.
Craig
The
gets
shit worked. The shock value. Soon as that motherfucker said he don't vote, y'all niggas was like,
What?
nigga like,
It worked.
The shit
No,
worked.
it worked, but you should have just came out and said where you met. You
Craig,
should have
you
made
should have let us know. You should have let us
No.
know. You should have let us
Y'all
know
didn't
that we could win harder.
Y'all
We could
didn't
win harder
even
when we
know.
Exactly. I
Craig,
was
I'm
giving too
not
much
talking about
respect.
before. I'm not talking about before he came on. I'm not talking about an introduction. I'm talking about afterwards.
even
You
know
should have
it.
said it afterwards. You should have
Yeah.
said, "Oh, by the
Texas
way,
said,
I
I
just
don't
met
know
this
this
guy
dude."
today." I'm not talking about before,
Andy was
Craig.
You know what, Craig? You know what?
It
You
was
need
a shock
to get
value.
FIU for the next 2 weeks.
And you know what?
The next month.
You know what? I did what I had to do to make the show work, so fuck all y'all.
Is that what you did?
I invited the ladies.
Anthony would have went harder if he knew you didn't know it.
Yes, I would have went harder too. I can't
No,
be
no,
honest.
no. Anthony
Hey.
would have went harder on Craig. That's what he would have did.
I wouldn't even say, I'm like, Craig. So you got this dude off a cannabis website and you got him calling into our fucking show? You ain't vetting him?
When that Bama said I don't vote, I was like, "Are you serious, nigga?"
said, "I don't
He
vote."
worked at
He
a
said-
cannabis place,
He told me
right?
that shit. I was like, and I said, "I'm gonna put this on the radio." He was like, "Put it on the radio. I'm gonna tell you why I don't vote." I was like, "Okay, all right."
Hey,
problem.
Craig.
No
Hey,
problem.
Anthony, Craig talked to some scientists that wasn't from Johns Hopkins.
I'm done.
Lord.
Oh, you should have told us that, Craig. I thought he was one of your interns or something, man.
That's y'all. That's y'all's friend of 33 years, whatever y'all say.
You know what you're right, and I'm really not surprised by it. I'm really not surprised.
I thought he worked at the radio station or something. Reds. I mean, I thought he worked at the radio station with the rest of them dudes.
I was like, is he a DJ? Is he somebody's little cousin? You know.
That's what I thought. I thought it was a little cousin or something like that.
I was being subtle. I was being nice.
Yeah, right. He should have let it. That's what I'm saying. He should have let us know. He would have
drove around in his car. It was driving me.
And Craig, he made it a Snoop Dogg. He up there smoking on our podcast. He was smoking weed on our podcast, man.
Hey, Derek,
Michelle was like,
Craig didn't
he's
catch
changing
that.
into his gray sweatpants.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him smoking that. What was he smoking?
He was
all the business. Listen, they want to know.
He changed his clothes, everything.
He went home. He went back out. Came back home again. Went back out.
Was on a tour of fucking Baltimore.
Putting the phone down, looking at the ceiling. Dude, nobody cares. Put it on pause. Turn the camera off.
Hey, Boo. You know you're gonna be bike riding with us next week.
No. Craig, he's too friendly.
You know it ain't good to ride with two wheels. Right? You have one with squares.
And he's talked to the manufacturers.
Some history about riding with squares.
I've talked to several manufacturers, none of them from Baltimore.
When he said all presidents are related and started going into that whole thing, the whole conspiracy, and I'm like, oh my God.
He watched too many documentaries.
And see, y'all know my theory about the millennials is that they know everything.
Hey, Craig, you had Glenn talking long. You had Glenn talking long because we was rebuttaling him.
Craig is smiling. Craig is so elated right now. He liked all this shit. He liked all this shit.
Listen, next time you invite me on, I'll be like, I don't have an opinion. No.
Nah, Heather, we need you.
I'm here.
Heather took it on. She was like, what's up?
I'll be like, I don't know.
Heather had her glasses back, put her hair up. Nah, dude, no, I can't take that.
Sir. Look, did you throw lip gloss or did you lose it?
If he would have busted out and be like, Karen, I'm stopping Karen. I would have died.
I would be like, don't just tell me where in Baltimore you are because I'm not far out from Baltimore. Just let me know where you are. I'm sending you. Go ahead, Troy.
And let's be clear. And let's be clear. You was gangster because he asked for an apology and you was like,
no.
I'm not apologizing.
And the only reason I ain't saying nothing is because we were still alive, but I'm not saying anymore.
He said, can I give my apology? She looked like,
she said, no.
Look, everybody got quiet.
I was like, don't interrupt him. Don't interrupt him.
He sure did.
Everybody got quiet.
He asked for that apology. We was like,
yep.
Everybody put their ear to the.
Y'all ain't hear that.
Hey, wait a minute. Where did Al go? Did y'all chase Al off?
No, you chased him off. You chased a lot of people off tonight.
Who?
Man. I'm just fucking with you, Abby. Don't
where Al go?
Al said, fuck y'all.
Y'all kept cutting Al off. Y'all asked him a question and cut him off. Al said, man, fuck it.
No, the motorcycle kept going by and he was getting mad.
And Keith been saying, he said, I asked the question. Answer me, Keith. I was like, yo, answer me. I asked you the question now.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, dog, talk to me. He was like, nah, man, they keep cutting me off. He had put his joke back on mute.
Why didn't you do your little, the women want to know questions? Is that like not in the podcast anymore?
Ooh,
that's
Craig.
I know you used to make those.
Mr. Black.
What is it? Have you sent some questions? Have you sent some new questions in?
Craig,
sent some new questions in?
Craig, we had females on the show. Craig, you should on the fly. You should have pulled up.
So I guess when I said send me topics, nobody thought of that shit.
No, Craig.
No, ladies, I'm not talking to you, ladies. I'm not talking to you, ladies. I'm talking to these other assholes around.
So Craig,
these other assholes.
Craig, are you a professional?
Say my name when y'all say something.
You're supposed to be a professional. You're supposed to pull them up on the fly.
What is this topic?
Mute his ass.
He muted.
It's
the internet question.
You only respond to my shit half the time, motherfucker.
It's the internet question.
I got the mute button, motherfucker. But you only respond to my damn text talking that.
No, don't get me started.
I got to text you to tell you to answer the damn question.
You just did the same shit to me 2 days ago. What the fuck are you talking
about? We put Craig in the attendee room.
Craig gone.
No, he put him in the waiting room. Put him in the attendee room.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't this dude just do this to me the other day?
Hey, hold on. Hey, can you hear us, Anthony? Bye, Craig. Bye, Craig. Hey, go ahead, boo. Speak up for your cousin, man. Bye, Craig.
Oh yeah.
Everybody say it together.
And so let me ask you. So Shelly and Heather, like the questions, like what type of questions are you guys looking? Would you have been interested in asking or answering?
None.
None. Okay.
I'm confused. I don't know the topic. What are y'all talking
Neither
about?
do we.
They just
So
be
basically,
internet questions.
Michelle, what they used to do is they would be like, so a female wrote in and asked like, my guy, was talking to this female and they just broke up, but he still texts her. What should I do? Like those kind of questions that weren't really real, but they would.
Craig, are you writing this down?
It was real.
They were real.
Black, tell me
Right
speak up, Black.
They would ask y'all that.
Yeah,
they came from Craig stuff.
from.
That's
where they came
were
from.
they younger? Were they
Some of them
younger
we could
women?
tell from the questions. Some of them.
Keith,
I got some of my questions.
And
This is
old
together.
women
Hold
asking
on, Keith.
questions
What's the
like
standard answer, Keith?
Old women.
No, Keith. What's the
Ladies,
standard answer,
old
Keith?
women.
It's you.
It's you.
It's you. That was the standard answer to those questions when she asked
It's
them
you.
too.
And what's the one from the what's the one from the promo when Tony's response was like dumbass questions like that?
Oh yeah.
What was that question?
So Craig, what does Craig do?
What turns a man off?
What turns a man off? Yeah, something like that. And Tony's response was, dumbass questions like that.
What?
So then I said, so Shelly, listen, so we're going to go back to that format next week. And so we'll be sending out some questions, or you send us some questions that you want to ask on the air.
I don't have any questions.
So you want to finish it up?
My goodness.
All right.
You know all the answers, Shelly?
Get
I
questions
don't
from
even
somebody
have a
else.
boyfriend, so I don't know.
They ain't got nothing. You got a past relationship.
What's going on with us?
Think about
So
it.
Craig, can we do it? Can we do the questions again? Can we do the questions next week?
Of course, why not?
Okay.
We need some questions though. Send us some questions, ladies.
You still don't have all those 57 questions that you had on that one sheet that you gave us for about 3 weeks.
That we didn't answer.
Wow.
Y'all don't have questions for ladies?
It was like 67
Why
questions.
don't y'all make up questions for ladies and have ladies call in or zoom in?
You don't want our questions.
Yeah, nah.
We don't want our questions.
I can't answer my questions.
Okay, I'm gonna just leave that alone.
we never answered half the questions we were asked.
I just sent Greg the invite again.
I sent it
Greg
to him.
ain't
Is that
coming
Greg?
Yeah.
He's not coming on.
Yeah, I sent it to him already.
He's not coming on.
Never send
This
res
my
one.
phone. Let him get on. He can't come on.
You hear what Heather said?
No, go ahead, Heather.
Don't ever send Reds one again.
He done. He got chopped up too
Email
much.
that. Look,
He coming back. He coming back next week.
He gotta do his research.
His email up. I'm gonna sign him for all kinds of junk mail. Porn site, junk mail.
He gotta do more research. He can't. He had 2 definitive arguments and no research.
Bring him back, because Anthony jumped in the shit.
I mean,
Fuck
that's
that.
a valid point.
Anthony walked away twice. That was funny.
Yeah, but see, he talking about he from Baltimore. He's from the county. He ain't say two. He ain't say do. He ain't say. I ain't hear the accent one time. Not one time. He from the county, man.
And that 25, you still got it.
Yeah, he from the county. He from the county.
So you said Greg's supposed to be calling in? Oh, there you go. This might be him right now.
Oh.
Who is this Greg?
No, Greg is.
I do?
Yeah. Dang, Shelly. I'm about to put you on the old group. You know who Greg is.
He only had no picture.
Anybody
He got a logo.
What kind of crap is that?
Hey, Craig, you got to remind Greg he can't be streaking and.
Oh, Lord.
You know he's going to have something in his mouth.
Whoa. Hey, look. You gotta unmute it and start your videos.
I don't know what kind of podcast this is.